it up to hurt us.
Why would they not make up allegations against their last 3 daycare providers?
Maybe they liked them.
You're supposed to be likable if you're a daycare provider.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy. Daycare provider Barbara Arnold is suing former client Kimberly Ellis for loss of income. Barbara says her daycare was temporarily shut down after Kimberly filed false charges of child abuse.
Order. All rise. Now it's case number 416 on the calendar in the matter of Arnold versus Ellis. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Ellis, you have 2 children, 2 girls.
Yes, ma'am.
One is 8, one is 9.
And they were at the time, yes, ma'am.
Miss Arnold, you run a daycare. Yes. And you've run a daycare service for 20 years. Yes, I read that correctly? And you run it with your husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many children do you have in the daycare?
We normally have 12.
Okay. Your complaint is a simple one. You claim that because of Miss L time while they conducted an investigation into your daycare based upon her complaint. Her complaints were generated by complaints of her daughters.
Correct.
And you want to be compensated. Miss Ellis says that she behaved as a reasonable parent. When her children told her there was a problem, she pulled her children out of your facility and she reported her concerns to the state authorities. That's your defense.
I actually reported it to the licensor itself.
Who licenses your daycare?
A Department of Early Learning.
When did your children start in Miss Arnold's facility?
On September 7th of 2010.
And they're school-age children, so they would go in before school and, I gather, have breakfast at Miss Arnold's, and then Miss Arnold or her husband would take them to school.
Correct.
And then pick them up at the end of the day.
No.
You would pick them up at the end of the day. So it was just the morning hours.
Correct.
And how much were you paid for her 2 girls a week?
$10 for the one and $11 for the other a day.
So $21 a day. Was this the first daycare facility that your children had been at?
No, ma'am.
How many had they been at?
3.
Did you ever report any alleged misconduct to the state by any of the 3 facilities that your children were at?
No, ma'am.
Why did you report Miss Arnold's facility?
I reported because my girls had told me that she had shoved them.
Did they tell you why?
Because they didn't eat the bagels that were provided for breakfast because they did not like them.
On what date?
That was October 4th.
And on what date did they tell you about it?
Same day. They called me from school.
On what date did you remove them from Miss Arnold's facility?
The same day. They never went back.
On what date did you report this touching to the licensing facility?
On the same day.
You questioned the children?
I did, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss Arnold, this is your problem. I'll present it to you as briefly as possible. Miss Ellis says this is the first complaint she's ever made. Because her children have never complained that any daycare provider has, in an unauthorized way, put their hands on either of the children. I am assuming, for the purposes of this case, that she received that information from her children. I'm not saying whether it's accurate or not, whether you did, in fact, push one of the children or put your hands on one of the children. I'm not saying that that happened or didn't happen. It's not relevant. The only relevant thing in this case is whether Miss Ellis acted appropriately. Do you understand? Go.
Okay, do you want me to explain the other allegations? There were 25 allegations that these girls said I abused other children.
Listen to me. That's not the issue. Called and told her that you had pushed them because they didn't eat their blueberry bagel. She had a responsibility to call the state licensing authority.
Okay, well, they also made allegations against my husband, who is my daycare assistant.
And
it was things like that he was smoking in the car and that he was mean to him. And
who are you?
I'm a parent of a child that her children made allegations against abuse against my child.
Listen to me carefully. Not the issue. The only issue is if you have children in a daycare facility and you have experience with the daycare system and your children tell you something that gives you cause to pause, you can just remove your children from the facility and say, listen, my kids don't like it there anymore. I'm not sending them back there. That be a fair statement? Right?
May I say something? Your Honor?
I want you to put on your listening ears.
Sorry.
You can either remove your children from the facility because they're unhappy, whether they're right or whether they're wrong. If they say, I'm unhappy, either you take them out, or if you believe that there might be an issue, should you cause an investigation by calling licensing and saying, listen, I'm giving it to you to look into. Now you can stand up and answer that question.
Thank you.
Just that question.
Your Honor, I was there at the time.
Just that question. You have children?
Yes.
How many?
I have 3.
How old?
30s.
If your children were little, and because you work, you brought them to a daycare, and your children came to you and said, I'm very unhappy. Mrs. Arnold pushed me, and Mr. Arnold smokes in the car and sometimes yells at me, and I'm unhappy there. What do you do, Mr. Arnold?
I would confront the daycare person that is taking care of my kids.
And the daycare person who's taking care of your children denies it. Says that never happened. I never put my hands on them, and my husband doesn't smoke in the car. What do you do next? Either you say to your children you're going back there anyway, or you take your children out and you find another daycare where hopefully they'll be happier. Those are the choices. Now, after you exercise what is the only reasonable choice, which is to try to find another daycare, second thing is, what do you do with regard to the other children who may not have 8 or 9-year-old voices, who may be 6 months old or a year old? You say, you know what, I really have an obligation to let somebody look into this and see whether anything is not right in this facility. Unless tell us where she was acting maliciously. Did she pay you for the time you had the children?
Yes.
Did she ever ask you for her money back?
No.
So there was no financial gain she had. Are you following me?
Yeah, I clearly understand you.
I just want to make sure that you clearly understand it.
But how can it be
Just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Well, if you clearly understand it, then you're not using your listening ears because you seem to have a problem with it. And there is no problem with it because hopefully you conduct an investigation and everything is okay. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. Sometimes even after an investigation, depending upon the investigator, it's not okay. But let's say it's okay. By allowing you, Miss Arnold, to sue her for the time that your facility was closed, that creates a very chilling effect on people who feel as if they want to cause legitimate inquiry into whether or not a daycare provider is acting appropriately. Don't you understand that?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
That's sort of an odd complaint by children. They said Mr. Arnold was smoking in the car. Odd.
And later today,
he told me that he didn't think it was safe for me to stay in that apartment where the assault happened because my boyfriend did have a lot of friends in the area. So he suggested that I start living with him.
daycare provider Barbara Arnold claims former client Kimberly Ellis owes for temporarily shutting down her daycare when she filed false charges of abuse.
Okay.
May I say something, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely.
Our main thing was when the CPS report came in and it had things on there that the mother claimed her daughters stretched the truth a bit, and the other allegations that CPS said are unrealistic.
And
they totally made it up.
Well, why would they make up allegations against you and not make up allegations against their last 3 daycare providers?
Because maybe they liked them, I don't know.
Well, maybe you're supposed to be likable if you're a daycare provider. What are the ages of the children that you take care of?
I take care of children up to age 12.
What are the youngest children that are in your care now?
9 months.
So you have a 9-month-old? What's after 9?
2.
2. You have a 9-month-old and you have a 2-year-old. How old is yours?
2.5.
2.5. I would say that instead of complaining that somebody is causing a second look into where my 2.5-year-old is spending their time, you might welcome it. I certainly would. I'm not suggesting to you that this 8-year-old and or 9-year-old didn't have a very active imagination and make up a lot of what they said about you. But unless you can demonstrate some sort of malice, it would do. Because what if, God forbid, instead of being a nice lady that you are and a reasonable guy like your husband is, which I assume you are, I really don't know. But let's assume that you were not running a great place. Let's assume that you did, in fact, shove one of the little girls on the arm when she didn't eat her blueberry bagel. And let us assume that your husband does, in fact, smoke in the car. And let us assume that there are times that you have to transport children who are 9 months old and 2 years old or 12 months old, and they can't say, I'm sitting in a car with someone who's puffing away in the car. Let us assume, Mr. Arnold, that that's true. Because I didn't even ask you whether you smoke or not, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We follow each other?
Yeah.
So it's something that I would want to know, and it's something that a state facility would want to know, because the licensing people would not permit someone to smoke in a car, would they?
No.
Of course not. So that's what they say, and that's sort of an odd complaint by children, that somebody is smoking in a car. I mean, they didn't say they passed a red light. They didn't say that they were speeding. They said Mr. Arnold was smoking in the car. Odd that an 8-year-old would say that. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Those girls totally made up a whole lot of lies to get us close. Eat anything that I served.
They weren't getting served breakfast that was appropriate for their age.
Nobody else complained but them. It's like they were spoiled and wanted Cocoa Puffs and Fruit Loops.
My kids don't eat Fruit Loops or Cocoa Puffs, so I'm not sure where she's getting that.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Baldoni versus Wilson, step forward, please.
Timothy Baldoni is suing his former live-in girlfriend, Christy Wilson, for a loan, rent, and court fees. Christy says the loan was a gift and her rent has already been paid.
Mr. Baldoni, what do you do for a living, sir?
I work in IT.
And where did you meet Miss Wilson?
I met her online, and then we subsequently met at a local bar.
This is your complaint. For a period of time, Miss Wilson moved into your apartment.
That's correct.
She had a prior debt to a prior landlord, which you claim you paid as a loan to her.
That's correct.
And then you claim that your agreement was that she would pay you for rent. And she did pay rent for the time when she actually lived with you.
She paid part of it.
Then she left to go to New York for some sort of internship.
Mm-hmm.
And you claim she owes you additional rent for when she wasn't living with you.
That's correct.
Let's go back for a moment. How long have you lived in your current apartment?
Since September 2007.
And what's the rent?
The rent is $575 plus additional fees for store.
You had a roommate other than Miss Wilson?
I currently have a roommate.
Prior to Miss Wilson, when did you have a roommate?
I did not have a roommate prior to Miss Wilson.
So you lived there for several years without a roommate?
That's correct.
And who's living there now with you?
My current girlfriend.
So you have a girlfriend living with you?
That's correct.
Miss Wilson, to whom did you owe prior rent?
To my former rental company in Minneapolis.
Would you tell me the circumstances surrounding which Mr. Baldoni paid off that debt for you?
Well, in February of 2009, I was living with my boyfriend previous to Mr. Baldoni, and he domestically assaulted me and was arrested, put into jail, and because I got a permanent order for protection, he was immediately removed from the lease, making me solely responsible for the entire portion of the lease. So when we did meet in March, I was still involved in all the court proceedings with the domestic violence case, so he was very familiar with my situation. I had to take some time off of work because I was injured, and he told me that he didn't think it was safe for me to stay in that apartment where the assault happened because my boyfriend did have a lot of friends in the area, so he suggested that I start living with him, which I did.
So tell me how the money came about.
Around June, Tim's lease for his apartment. And I told him that I still had a lease with my other company until July, and then I owed them money. But I filled out a rental application, and I was denied by his rental company for the money that I owed.
So?
So we talked about the situation, and he said, well, what are we going to do about this? And I said, well, you know, I have a payment plan arranged. And he said, well, why don't I just put it on my credit card? Because this is going to affect your credit. You're not going to be able to live here. He told me, either we pay this and you get on the lease, or you're going to have to find a new place to live. So I let him put it on his credit card. Then the following week, I was added to his lease in August of 2009.
And how much was it that he paid?
It was approximately $2,500.
So you were trying to arrange for a payment plan with your former landlord. Mm-hmm. So when Mr. Baldoni put it on his credit card, mm-hmm. what arrangement did you make with him to pay him back?
We didn't make an arrangement.
Well, what he said was, we have to. He was treating you as a we.
Correct.
We have to take care of this, otherwise it's going to affect your credit, but a we also involves you.
Right.
Now, this was in August. You left in September.
I did.
And where did you go?
I went to New York to do an internship.
Where?
I was doing an internship with an off-Broadway musical. I was doing wigs and wardrobe. And the plan was that the internship was to go from end of September of 2009 to our shared residence in January. But that didn't end up happening because he broke up with me in November.
Over what?
Well, there was a previous strain in the relationship before I left, which is part of the reason why I was so compelled to leave. The distance was an issue, and also the fact that he wanted to date other people continuously during our relationship, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
So you didn't return?
Correct.
The $2,500 that he put on his credit card that you owed your previous landlord, that took care of your lease up until July?
Correct.
And you moved in August of 2009.
I did.
Did you pay rent to him in
I did.
August? How much did you pay?
I paid almost all of it. I owed him a little bit of money.
And when did you leave in September?
September 21st.
So you would have owed him for the 2 months $575 if you agreed to split the rent.
Yes.
How much did you pay him?
I paid him most of August. I owed him like maybe $85.
Yes.
And then I didn't pay for September.
Did not.
Because I knew I was leaving for New York, and Tim agreed to let me pay that at a later date because I needed the money to go to
Fine.
New York.
All right, Mr. Baldoni. For what months do you think she owes you rent?
I think she owes me rent for part of August, September, as well as January and February. I mean,
she's not paying any rent for January and February.
When he came to visit me in New York in November, I gave him $500, which covered September
that
and
was-
August.
Just a second. Did she give you any money?
She did, Your Honor, and that was to cover additional money that she owed me.
What additional money?
She had called me up sobbing, and she said that her wallet was stolen and that she was unable to live in New York, unable to even pay for transportation.
He did that as a boyfriend.
Just
for
a
her
second.
girlfriend.
So how much did you send her?
A total of $360. She also owed me $125 for an iPhone and some additional money from August.
No. Mr. Baldoni, I don't have time for your petty nonsense. She owes you the $2,500 you paid for her landlord.
Also, Your Honor, the amount that I expected each month was $380. That included the half of the fees for the storage lockers and parking, as well as half of the utilities.
I don't care what you expected. What I'm telling you is, Mr. Baldoni, she's going to pay you back. As far as this, whether she shorted you $65 or $40 or you bought her a $125 iPhone, I don't care. Courts don't care about your nonsense. When you marry somebody, then courts have to say, well, these are your assets, these are your liabilities. You get half, goodbye. Courts to get involved in minutiae.
But
Do you understand?
I do
Don't give me a but.
understand. Electricity is
Listen
fundamental
to me. You lived there 2 years without a roommate.
Correct.
You paid the electricity.
Correct.
Keep paying it.
I will.
Good. You paid the water, you paid the phone, you paid the cable, all by yourself for 2 years. Right?
Correct.
Great. She owes you $2,500.
No.
That's what she owes you. Judgment for the plaintiff.
She
goodbye.
already agreed, Your Honor, to pay me back for January and February.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm really happy it's over. I think she was really fair.
I think it was oversimplified.
A lot of it was just what people do when they live together.
Our relationship was over.
We had a really bad breakup.
I was a stepping stone.
He definitely was not a stepping stone. I was very madly in love with him.
Be a little less foolish.
I'm glad it's said and done. I love Judge Judy, and I'm just going to move on.
Games this whole time with my kids.
Don't get your kids involved.
He did. He got him involved.
Their divorce didn't end the drama.
And Mom's the one who's got the money now. He sits there and plays that game.
Did you say that to your son?
Will it be curtains for Dad?
How many children does she feed?
5. But
Do you want me to figure out what that comes to?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy. Laura Bonenkamp is suing her ex-husband, Kevin Bonenkamp, for loans for bail and wrestling camp fees, and for his share of medical bills.
Order. All rise.
Case number 307 on the calendar in the matter of Bonenkamp versus Bonenkamp.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Mrs. Bonenkamp, this is your former husband. You have 6 children, 6 boys?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm accounting for a tree service business.
How long have you worked for them?
8 years.
What is your annual income?
Like $28,000.
You get child support from the defendant?
Yes, I do.
How much?
$350 a week when he pays.
How long have you been divorced?
April. Been apart for more than that, but finalized in April.
How many years were you married?
17.
When you and your husband separated with their bank accounts?
Yes, we had a bank account together.
How did you divide those bank accounts?
I got $8.
What kind of work do you do, sir?
I do tree trimming, tree cutting and stuff during the day, run tow truck at night.
Okay. Now, you claim that your former husband owes you some money for debts incurred subsequent to the divorce.
Yes.
First alleged debt.
He had been arrested twice for driving under suspension. I knew that this was false. I knew that he did have a license. I knew it was wrong. I knew the state was wrong in doing so. Well, I had gotten all the savings when he got arrested. So when my son came to me and said, this is our son Logan, he came to me and said, can you bond Dad out? Dad says, if you bond him out, he promises he'll pay when he gets his $10,000 check in July for cutting his trees. I said, only if he'll pay me back. And he's like, yes, he will. So we went down there. I bonded him out. He came out, and he's like, thank you. I promise I'll pay you.
Did you promise you would pay her back?
At that time, I might have said, you know, I'll pay you back when I can. I don't remember saying I promised.
He said he would.
That's all I said is I'll, you know, pay you back when I can.
Okay, and how much was the bail?
$1,000.
Did you get any part of it back?
No.
Can I see that? And you had to put up $1,000 in cash?
Yes.
Or was that to pay the fines?
No, it was, they just required $1,000.
I don't.
No, don't tell me what she knows. I'm not interested in what she knows. Show me where you paid the bond.
I had to give him the money to bond himself out.
Well, this is the ticket.
He actually was still in the car when we came up on the scene, yeah. He was still...
Oh, well, I don't believe this.
My son was with us.
I don't care. What you're trying to tell me is you give a police officer cash, and the police officer, when you give him cash, lets you go.
Yes.
Take it back.
That's what he did.
Yeah. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Me neither. Keep going.
Okay. On May 14th, my son Logan came over to the house. Kevin had called him. He had gotten hurt at work, asked me to come down there. He had no insurance. He needed pain meds. He needed help with his medical bill, so I took Logan down there. He said that at that time, if I paid the medical bill, that he would reimburse me in July when he got his tree check for $10,000.
She got her savings account so she could pay for it.
No, the savings account has nothing to do with that. Anyway, he promised that he would pay me back. He subsequently sat there and kept promising and promising. Up until that point, he didn't give me any money. He waited until then, and he kept the money, but gave me $1,200, and that was it, out of that money.
Gave you $1,200 out of what money?
Out of his tree money that he kept promising me for. He kept saying, I promise I will pay you back.
How much were his medical bills?
$2,834.
And he gave you back, so he owes you for his medical bills, if I believe that there was a contract to reimburse you for the medical bills, $1,600.
Yep, if you want to take it off of there.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a wrestling club that he asked me if I would give him the money for a wrestling club.
Who asked you?
Kevin asked me. I have the email.
Date.
April 9th. He sent me an email, and he had asked me a couple days before that about the wrestling club. He asked me if I would please front him the money for Blaine, our son. He had Blaine ask me if I would front him the money for Blaine's wrestling club. Well, Mom's got all the savings from the divorce. I don't have anything.
She didn't have any money.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain things that I find that are reasonable and certain things that I find that are unreasonable. It's clear to me that your family lives very close to the vest, that the only savings there were, you got. I'm not interested in why. It's really not important. But at that point, he had no funds. And you said initially no when one of your children wanted to join a wrestling club because you didn't have the funds. You knew he didn't have the funds. That's clear. You knew he didn't have the funds. You actually did have the funds.
Yes.
Because you had the savings account. So you did have the funds if you felt as if that was an important project, but you knew because
I knew he was getting that money.
Did he get the money?
Yes. He gave me $1,200 back. I mean, we had been divorced for I assumed divorce for 2 years before that because, you know, it was finalized in April, but we had been apart a long time. He had borrowed money before and paid it back to me. So this is the first time he's ever, and if you read the email, he'd played games this whole time with my kids, having my kids come to me and say, oh, Mom, please.
Listen to me. Don't get your kids involved.
He did. He got him involved by doing that.
No, your boys are bigger boys.
He's 8, the littlest one that was in the wrestling club. So he had him come and ask me, well, I want to send you to it, but Mom won't. And Mom's the one who's got the money now. It's our money, and she's got it. Mom won't do it. So he sits there and plays that game, and I'm getting money in July, and I'll pay her back, but she still won't do it.
Did you say that to your son?
She's the one.
Speak! Did you say that to your son?
I told him that I would send him, yes. And then when I came, I didn't have the money yet. I told her, you know, that I don't have the money for it. Then she started playing games with him, started making him, you know, feel bad, saying that, well, it's your dad's fault, you can't go, and stuff like that.
Why did you use a child for messaging?
Because she always sends them after me, saying that, well, if you need this or you want this, then you got to get it
Well,
from Dad.
that's terrible.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many children live with her in the house?
5.
How many children?
5. But I give her child support every week.
You give her $350 a week. Do you want me to figure out what that comes to?
And later today,
I just want to know that's what you're selling. That you got a yellow card for doing nothing, and he got a foul called against him and a yellow card. That's what we're buying.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Laura Bonenkamp says ex-husband Kevin Bonenkamp owes for loans and medical bills.
Okay. Did you say that you would pay for wrestling camp or part of it?
Yeah, I said I would, when I get some money,
Well, did you get the money?
I got some of it, yes.
How much did you get?
I can't remember what the check was. It was a substantial amount.
If it was a substantial amount, and you're making a big deal about $8,000 that she got in savings, which is not in the course of a lifetime, a huge deal, how much was your check?
My check was probably up around $5,000.
What do you mean up around $5,000? What does that mean?
I don't remember the exact amount. I cashed a check, and it was like $4,800 or something like that.
When did you get the check?
First part of July.
And you gave her $1,200?
Yes.
Okay, so that covered part of your medical bill. Did you pay any part of your own medical bill?
No.
Okay, so you still owe her $1,600 from your medical bill. And according to you, you did in fact tell her that you would take care of the wrestling camp.
I think it was up around $1,500.
Were you supposed to pay for the whole thing or for half of it?
She wanted me to pay for the whole thing. And I told her.
Not she wanted you. Did you say you would pay for wrestling camp?
Yeah, I said I'd pay for wrestling camp.
Okay, so far you owe her $3,100.
But she got her savings.
Listen to me. How many children live with her in the house?
5.
How many people live with you?
None.
How many children does she feed?
5.
How many children does she clothe?
5. But I give her child support every week.
You give her $350 a week. Do you want me to figure out what that comes to?
But I did support 6 kids. He graduated in May. But I was supporting him. High school.
What are you doing now?
I do woodwork with business that my dad does it through, too.
Stand up. You work with your father?
No, he works through Edge Tree Service. I work with different people.
We subcontract Kevin out because of me. I got him that job for that $10,000.
Well, then all you have to do is show me where he got $10,000 and not 5. I'd be curious to see that.
I got him the work, but...
Well, they may not have paid him for the work.
They did. I was with him when he cashed the check.
And how much was the check?
He got the check for, it was about
Look at me!
$5,000.
That's what he said.
He got paid twice, though.
Just a second. Well, I don't know that, but I know he owes you $3,100. That's what he owes you. He owes you $16 because he said he'd pay for camp and he didn't pay for camp. It's your obligation. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's just money hungry, like a lot of women are. Just money, money, money.
He says, I got my check, you're just a gold digging, you know, and I still didn't get my money.
Hopefully she won't be coming after me for, so much money all the time.
It is all about dollar signs now, trying to get money to support his kids.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of O'Reilly versus Mojica. Step forward, please.
24-year-old Trevor O'Reilly is suing fellow soccer player, 22-year-old Diego Mojica, for breaking his jaw when he punched him during a soccer match.
Mr. O'Reilly, you claim that the defendant assaulted you when you were playing soccer.
Yes.
You were both playing soccer at the same time on opposing teams, I assume?
Yes.
Had you played together before? Had you played opposite each other before?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No,
that's correct.
So you didn't know each other from before?
No.
No. Okay. When was this game?
November 17th, 2009.
Tell me your version of the events. Of course, Mr. Mojica has an entirely different version of the events. He says that he was merely defending himself. So, go. I know absolutely nothing about soccer except that the ball, I believe, is black and white.
Well, we were playing a game and...
Black and white ball?
Black and white.
Black. Mr. Mojica committed a foul against me, which the...
Explain what the foul was.
Well, he just tripped me. He tripped me, I fell down, and when I got up, he was already in my face.
So he tripped you?
Yes.
And a foul was called against him for tripping you?
Correct.
So far, is that correct?
No, Your Honor.
Was a foul called against you?
No, that's not correct.
Interesting. Go ahead.
All right, after the foul, he got up in my face. And because he got up in my face, I didn't back down. The referee gave us both yellow cards.
He got in your face.
Yes.
You know, don't gloss over your participation.
Okay.
He got in your face and said what?
The words, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He just started talking trash.
And what did you say to him?
I didn't say anything. I was just standing there. I didn't know what he was so mad about. It was just a foul. And the referee called it. I didn't call it.
Well, you said I didn't back down, so that would suggest to me that you either said or did something when he said, what are you doing, what are you doing?
No, I just stood there. I stared at him. I was shocked that he was so mad at me after a foul, so.
Go ahead.
All right, then the referee came over. He gave us both yellow cards, told us to go to the benches.
What's a yellow card?
Yellow card is a punishment. Usually, you know, if something's happening, he thinks an altercation is going to happen. He just says, give us...
No, not usually. A yellow card means that you had to stop playing.
Yes, because of the foul.
So what you're telling me is that the referee who called a foul on him did so properly because he tripped you.
Yes.
But then gave you a yellow card. Just a second. That's what you're selling. I just want to know that's what you're selling. That you got a yellow card for doing nothing, and he got a foul called against him and a yellow card. That's what we're buying.
Well, the yellow cards were just to make sure it's a recreational game, that there is no altercations. Usually if two people get into it...
Well, you can get it. Don't tell me what usually. Usually if someone does something wrong to somebody else, you can understand that the referee would come over and say, not only am I calling a foul, but I don't like the way you're conducting yourself. You take a yellow card, Mr. Mojica, go down, you can't play anymore. But why would he punish you? You didn't do anything. All you did was trip.
He just wanted to make sure that nothing happened.
Nothing would happen if Mr. Mojica wasn't playing.
But he just wanted to give us both time to cool off because he thought I was mad. I really wasn't that mad. I didn't even know why he was so mad at me, but...
Keep going.
Okay.
So far, I'm not buying the whole story.
All right.
The whole story, Mr. O'Reilly.
That's fine.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you can't control your temper, Mr. Mojica, don't play soccer. You have to punch somebody really hard to break a jaw. Not a push, not a shove. You got to punch somebody really hard.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Trevor O'Reilly says fellow soccer player Diego Mojica broke his jaw when he punched him during a soccer match. Diego claims...
anyways, on the way back, he was still talking to me after I was on my...
What was he saying?
He was saying, you don't do anything, you don't do anything, you're not going to do anything. And he was just talking to me, and I just kind of smiled, laughed it off. And then after I walked by, he came up from behind me, and he punched me in my jaw. And then he went after another one of my teammates, punched him, and then the referee came over, said he's calling the game, he's calling the cops, and all of his team, except for 2 members, fled the scene.
Did he flee?
Yes, he did.
The 2 members of Mr. Mojica's team that stayed, did they speak to the police?
No, they did not.
What did they do?
They actually stayed in the remainder of my team, and those 2 actually, they scrimmaged afterwards.
How many people fled with Mr. Mojica?
I would guess around 8.
You have a police report?
Yes, here. There we go. Here's all that.
Did you get a warrant for Mr. Mojica?
No, a warrant was not issued for him, though
Why?
I tried to get one. I'm not 100% sure about that. They said he was not in the system, so the city prosecutor could not prosecute him, though I thought he should have been. I didn't understand that either.
Where did you get his contact information?
Actually, the soccer center gave me his contact information.
Okay, tell me what your injuries were, Mr. O'Reilly.
I have the x-rays and the medical statements. It was a broken jaw, and here's the x-rays and the medical statements and the medical report. So those are all right there. And as a teacher, you know, having your jaw wired shut, obviously not very advantageous, trying to yell at kids in the back of the room for talking out of turn or just trying to speak.
It's all right, Mr. O'Reilly. I don't need any editorializing about a wired jaw.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Mojica, I'm ready to hear you.
Your Honor, it was November 17th of 2009. The game was at approximately 11:20 that night because we got the last game. Me and Trevor were playing on the opposite teams. I was on the defense side of my team, and I had the ball, and we were playing, like, Trevor was playing too aggressive, so we were, like, bumping shoulders, and that's, the referee called the foul on him because it was still our ball. And so he falls. I don't know how he falls. I did not trip him. He falls behind me, When he falls behind me, he kicks me on the back of the leg. And I got mad, so I turned around and I kicked him also.
Well, you didn't see how he kicked you on the back of your leg.
He was the only person behind me.
You didn't see how he kicked you?
No, I did not.
Go ahead.
So he falls, I kick him also.
So then you kicked him purposely?
Yes, I did.
Where did you kick him purposely?
On the legs.
How many times?
One time.
Go ahead.
I kicked him on the leg, so he gets up and we're in each other's face, cursing at each other, 2 minutes. So we go out and we're still cursing at each other. He says something to me, I don't recall what he said, so I turn around, get in his face, and he pushes me, so I push him back. And that's when he punched me on the chest and I punched him in the jaw. And I don't know what his other friend's name was. He was on his team, and he punches me in the back. So I turn around, I punch him, and my girlfriend, she was on the sideline. She was watching the soccer game. She yells at me because we had our kids there. She's like, "Let's go," because I don't want the girls watching this. So I get all my stuff and I leave.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to JudgeJudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
All right, Mr. Mojica, you can't punch him in the face.
Yeah, I understand that.
You caused some serious injury when you punched him in the face.
Yes, I understand. Well, I was just defending myself because he punched me.
No, you weren't.
Well, he punched me first. What?
No, you kicked him first.
No, he kicked me first.
No, you kicked him first. You didn't see how it happened. He was on the ground.
Yes, he was.
That his foot hit yours. Could have been he was getting up. You have no idea what that was, but you have a bad temper. And what happened with your bad temper was you turned around and with all your might, according to you, because you purposely, that's what you just told me.
Yes, I kicked him. Yes, I did.
And I don't believe he punched you in the chest.
Yes, he did.
I believe he probably pushed you. And you were pushing at each other.
Yes.
And cursing at each other.
Yes.
But you
correct.
punched him.
Yes, I did.
Different story. You're going to take care of his medical bills? He's only suing you for $2,000. I would have actually given him a lot more. If you can't control your temper, Mr. Mojica, don't play soccer.
But, Your Honor, there was 2 people attacking me.
If you can't control your temper, don't play soccer. You have to punch somebody really hard to break a jaw. Not a push, not a shove. You got to punch somebody really hard, just like you kick them really hard if you're angry. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Parties are excused when they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My jaw was broken. It cost me a lot of money, a lot of anguish, so thought I deserved the money.
I was there taking care of him when he had his jaw wired shut.
I was just defending myself, and, you know, things happened.
We had to blend all of his food. It was pretty bad.
I actually did see the plaintiff hit my boyfriend first.
I never punched him, and I never saw my teammate punch him.
My kids were there, and I didn't want them to see it.
Just got a little out of control.
I don't know why I got out of control, honestly.
We were a little too aggressive that night.
Temper's ready to put it behind us.
No hard feelings. I mean, we'll have another game. Just keep it friendly next time. No hard feelings.
He played games this whole time with my kids.
Don't get your kids involved.
He did. He got him involved.
Their divorce didn't end the drama.
And Mom's the one who's got the money now. He sits there and plays that game.
Did you say that to your son?
Will it be curtains for Dad?
How many children does she feed?
5. But I give her child support every week.
You give her $350 a week. Do you want me to figure out what that comes to?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy. Laura Bonenkamp is suing her ex-husband, Kevin Bonenkamp, for loans for bail and wrestling camp fees, and for his share of medical bills.
Order. All rise.
Case number 307 on the calendar in the matter of Bonenkamp versus Bonenkamp.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Mrs. Bonenkamp, this is your former husband. You have 6 children.
Accounting for a tree service business.
How long have you worked for them?
8 years.
What is your annual income?
Like $28,000.
You get child support from the defendant?
Yes, I do.
How much?
$350 a week when he pays.
How long have you been divorced?
April. Been apart for more than that, but finalized in April.
How many years were you married?
17.
When you and your husband separated with their bank accounts?
Yes, we had a bank account together.
How did you divide those bank accounts?
I got everything.
And what was in the bank account?
I got $8,000.
What kind of work do you do, sir?
I do tree trimming, tree cutting and stuff during the day, run tow truck at night.
Okay. Now, you claim that your former husband owes you some money for debts incurred subsequent to the divorce.
Yes.
First alleged debt.
He had been arrested twice for driving under suspension. I knew that this was false. I knew that he did have a license. I knew it was wrong. I knew the state was wrong in doing so. Well, I had gotten all the savings when he got arrested. So when my son came to me and said, this is our son Logan, he came to me and said, can you bond Dad out? Dad says, if you bond him out, he promises he'll pay when he gets his $10,000 check in July for cutting his trees. I said, only if he'll pay me back. And he's like, yes, he will. So we went down there. I bonded him. I'll pay you.
Did you promise you would pay her back?
At that time, I might have said, you know, I'll pay you back when I can. I don't remember saying I promised.
He said he would.
That's all I said is I'll, you know, pay you back when I can.
Okay. And how much was the bail?
$1,000.
Did you get any part of it back?
No.
Can I see that? And you had to put up $1,000 in cash?
Yes.
Or was that to pay the fines?
No, it was, they just required $1,000.
That was to bond me out because if I go to jail, then she knows I don't.
No,
get
don't
child
tell me
support.
what she knows. I'm not interested in what she knows. Show me where you paid the bond.
I had to give him the money to bond himself out.
But this is the ticket.
He actually was still in the car when we came up on the scene, yeah. He was still...
Oh, well, I don't believe this.
My son was with us.
I don't care. What you're trying to tell me is you give a police officer cash, and the police officer, when you give him cash, lets you go.
Yes.
Take it back.
That's what he did.
Yeah. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Me neither. Keep going.
Okay. On May 14th, my son Logan came over to the house. Kevin had called him. He had gotten hurt at work, asked me to come down there. He had no insurance. He needed pain meds. He needed help with his medical bill, so I took Logan down there. He said that at that time, if I paid the medical bill, that he would reimburse me in July when he got his treatment.
So she could pay for it.
No, the savings account has nothing to do with that. Anyway, he promised that he would pay me back. He subsequently sat there and kept promising and promising. Up until that point, he didn't give me any money. He waited until then, and he kept the money, but gave me $1,200, and that was it, out of that money.
Gave you $1,200 out of what money?
Out of his tree money that he kept promising me for. He kept saying, I promise I will pay you back.
How much were his medical bills?
$2,834.
And he gave you back
$1,230, to be exact.
So he owes you for his medical bills, if I believe that there was a contract to reimburse you for the medical bills, $1,600.
Yep, if you want to take it off of there.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a wrestling club that he asked me if I would give him the money for a wrestling club.
Who asked you?
Kevin asked me. I have the email.
Date.
April 9th. He sent me an email, and he had asked me a couple days before that about the wrestling club. He asked me if I would please front him the money for Blaine, our son. He had Blaine ask me if I would front him the money for Blaine's wrestling club. Well, Mom's got all the savings from the divorce. I don't have anything.
You didn't have any money.
Yeah.
You know there are certain things that I find that are reasonable and certain things that I find that are unreasonable. It's clear to me that your family lives very close to the vest, that the why is really not important. But at that point, he had no funds. And you said initially no when one of your children wanted to join a wrestling club because you didn't have the funds. You knew he didn't have the funds. That's clear. You knew he didn't have the funds. You actually did have the funds. Yes. Because you had the savings account. So you did have the funds if you felt as if that was an important project, but you knew your husband didn't have the money. So?
Because I knew he was getting that money.
Did he get the money?
Yes. He gave me $1,200 back. I mean, we had been divorced for I assumed divorce for 2 years before that because, you know, it was finalized in April, but we had been apart a long time. He had borrowed money before and paid it back to me. So this is the first time he's ever, and if you read the email, he'd played games this whole time with my kids, having my kids come to me and say, oh, Mom, please.
Listen to me. Don't get your kids involved.
He did. He got him involved by doing that.
No, your boys are bigger boys.
He's 8, the littlest one that was in the wrestling club. So he had him come and ask me, well, I want to send you to it, but Mom won't. And Mom's the one who's got the money now. It's our money, and she's got it. Mom won't do it. So he sits there and plays that game. And I'm getting money in July, and I'll pay her back, but she still won't do it.
Did you say that to your son? That to your son?
I told him that I would send him, yes. And then when I came, I didn't have the money yet. I told her, you know, that I don't have the money for it. Then she started playing games with him, started making him, you know, feel bad, saying that, well, it's your dad's fault, you can't go, and stuff like that.
Why did you use a child for messaging?
Because she always sends them after me, saying that, well, if you need this or you want this, then you got to get it
Well,
from
that's
Dad.
terrible.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many children live with her in the house?
5.
How many children does she feed?
5.
How many children does she clothe?
5. But I give her child support every week.
You give her $350 a week. Do you want me to figure out what that comes to?
And later today,
I just want to know that's what you're selling. That you got a yellow card for doing nothing, and he got a foul called against him and a yellow card. That's what we're buying.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Laura Bonenkamp says ex-husband Kevin Bonenkamp owes for loans and medical bills.
Okay. Did you say that you would pay for wrestling camp or part of it?
Yeah, I said I would, when I get some money,
Well, did you get the money?
I got some of it, yes.
How much did you get?
I can't remember what the check was. It was a substantial amount.
If it was a substantial amount, and you're making a big deal about $8,000 that she got and said, huge deal, how much was your check?
My check was probably up around $5,000.
What do you mean up around $5,000? What does that mean?
I don't
up
I don't remember the exact amount. I cashed a check, and it was like $4,800 or something like that.
When did you get the check?
First part of July.
And you gave her $1,200.
Yes.
Okay, so
And then I
that
paid
covered
bills
part
with
of
the
your
rest of
medical
it.
bill. Did you pay any part of your own medical bill?
No.
Okay, so you still owe her $1,600 from your medical bill. And according to you, you did in fact tell her that you would take care of the wrestling camp.
Yeah.
And how much was the wrestling camp?
I think it was up around $1,500.
Were you supposed to pay for the whole thing or for half of it?
She wanted me to pay for the whole thing, and I told her.
Not she wanted you. Did you say you would pay for wrestling camp?
Yeah, I said I'd pay for wrestling camp.
Okay, so far you owe her $3,100.
But she got our savings.
Listen to me. How many children live with her in the house?
5.
How many people live with you?
None.
How many children does she feed?
5.
How many children does she clothe?
5. But I give her
How
child
many-
support every week.
You give her $350 a week. Do you want me to figure out what that comes to?
But I did support 6 kids. He graduated in May. But I was
Graduated
supporting
from?
him. High school.
What are you doing now?
I do woodwork with business that my dad does it through too.
Stand up. You work with your father?
With different people.
We subcontract Kevin out because of me. I got him that job for that $10,000.
Well, then all you have to do is show me where he got $10,000 and not 5. I'd be curious to see that.
I got him the work, but...
Well, they may not have paid him for the work.
They did. I was with him when he cashed the check.
And how much was the check?
He got the check for, it was about
Look at me!
$5,000.
That's what he said.
He got paid twice, though.
Just a second. Well, I don't know that, but I know he owes you $3,100. That's what he owes you. He owes you $1,600 for the remainder of his medical bills, and he owes you $1,500 because he said he'd pay for camp and he didn't pay for camp. It's your obligation. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
She's just money hungry, like a lot of women are. Just money, money, money.
He says, I got my check, you're just a gold digging, and I still didn't get my money.
Hopefully she won't be coming after me for so much money all the time.
It is all about dollar signs now, trying to get money to support his kids.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of O'Reilly versus Mojica. Step forward, please.
24-year-old Trevor O'Reilly is suing fellow soccer player, 22-year-old Diego Mojica, for breaking his jaw when he punched him during a soccer match.
Mr. O'Reilly, you claim that the defendant assaulted you when you were playing soccer.
Yes.
You were both playing soccer at the same time on opposing teams. Played opposite each other before?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No, that's correct.
So you didn't know each other from before?
No.
No. Okay. When was this game?
November 17th, 2009.
Tell me your version of the events. Of course, Mr. Mojica has a entirely different version of the events. He says that he was merely defending himself. So go. And I know absolutely nothing about soccer except that the ball, I believe, is black and white.
Hi. Well, we were playing a game, and
Black and white ball?
Black and white.
Mr. Mojica committed a foul against me, which the referee called. And after the foul, he got a...
Explain what the foul was.
Well, he just tripped me. He tripped me, I fell down, and when I got up, he was already in my face.
So he tripped you?
Yes.
And a foul was called against him for tripping you?
Correct.
So far, is that correct?
No, Your Honor.
Was a foul called against you?
No, that's not correct.
Interesting. Go ahead.
All right, after the foul, he got up in my face. And because he got up in my face, I didn't back down. The referee gave us both yellow cards.
He got in your face.
Yes.
You know, don't gloss over your participation.
Okay.
He got in your face and said what?
The words, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He just started talking trash.
And what did you say to him?
I didn't say anything. I would just stand there. I didn't know what he was so mad about. It was just a foul. And the referee called it. I didn't call it.
Well, you said I didn't back down, so that would suggest to me, said, what are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I just stood there. I stared at him. I was shocked that he was so mad at me after a foul, so.
Go ahead.
All right, then the referee came over. He gave us both yellow cards, told us to go to the benches.
What's a yellow card?
Yellow card is a punishment. Usually, you know, if something's happening, he thinks an altercation is going to happen. He just says, give us...
No, not usually. A yellow card means that you had to stop playing.
Yes, because the foul.
So what you're telling me is that the referee who called a foul on him did so properly because he tripped you.
Yes.
But then gave you a yellow card improperly because you weren't doing anything.
Oh, he just wanted to make...
Just a second. That's what you're selling. I just want to know that's what you're selling. That you got a yellow card for doing nothing, and he got a foul called against him and a yellow card. That's what we're buying.
Well, the yellow cards were just to make sure it's a recreational game, that there is no altercations. Usually if two people get into it...
Well, you can get in... Don't tell me what usually. Usually if someone does something wrong to somebody else, you can understand that the referee would come over and say, not only am I calling a foul, but I don't like the way you're conducting yourself. You take a yellow card, Mr. Mojica, go down, you can't play anymore. But why would he punish you? You didn't do anything. All you did was trip.
He just wanted to make sure that nothing happened.
Nothing would happen if Mr. Mojica wasn't playing.
But he just wanted to give us both time to cool off because he thought I was mad. I really wasn't that mad. I didn't even know why he was so mad at me, but...
Keep going.
Okay.
So far, I'm not buying...
On the way back, he was still talking to me. After I was on my...
What was he saying?
He was saying, you don't do anything, you don't do anything, you're not going to do anything. And he was just talking to me, and I just kind of smiled, laughed it off. And then after I walked by, he came up from behind me, and he punched me in my jaw. And then he went after another one of my teammates, punched him, and then the referee came over, said he's calling the game, he's calling the cops, and all of his team, except for 2 members, fled the scene.
Did he flee?
Yes, he did.
The 2 members of Mr. Mojica's team that stayed, did they speak to the police?
No, they did not.
What did they do?
They actually stayed in the remainder of my team, and those 2 actually, they scrimmaged afterwards.
How many people fled with Mr. Mojica?
I would guess around 8.
Have a police report?
Yes. Here. There we go. All that.
Did you get a warrant for Mr. Mojica?
No, a warrant was not issued for him, though
Why?
I tried to get one. I'm not 100% sure about that. They said he was not in the system, so the city prosecutor could not prosecute him, though I thought he should have been. I didn't understand that either.
Where did you get his contact information?
Actually, the soccer center gave me his contact information.
Okay, tell me what your injuries were, Mr. O'Reilly.
I have the x-rays and the medical statements. It was a broken jaw, right? And is the x-rays and the medical statements and the medical report. So those are all right there. And as a teacher, you know, having your jaw wired shut, obviously not very advantageous, trying to yell at kids in the back of the room for talking out of turn or just trying to speak.
It's all right, Mr. O'Reilly. I don't need any editorializing about a wired jaw.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Mojica, I'm ready to hear you.
Your Honor, it was November 17th of 2009. The game was at approximately 11:20 that night because we got the last game. Me and Trevor were playing on the opposite teams. I was on the defense side of my team, and I had the ball, and we were playing, like, Trevor was playing too aggressive, so we were, like, bumping shoulders, and that's the referee called the foul on him because it was still our ball. And so he falls. I don't know how he falls. I did not trip him. He falls behind me. When he falls behind me, he kicks me on the back of the leg, and I got mad, so I turned around and I kicked him also.
Well, you didn't see how he kicked you on the back of your leg.
He was the only person behind me.
You didn't see how he kicked you?
No, I did not.
Go ahead.
So he falls. I kick him also.
So then you kicked him purposely?
Yes, I did.
Where did you kick him purposely?
On the legs.
How many times?
1 time.
Go ahead.
I kicked him on the leg, so he gets up, and we're in each other's face, cursing at each other. So we go out, and we're still cursing at each other. He says something to me. I don't recall what he said, so I turn around, get in his face, and he pushes me, so I pushed him back. And that's when he punched me on the chest, and I punched him in the jaw. and I don't know what his other friend's name was. He was on his team, and he punches me in the back. So I turn around, I punch him, and my girlfriend, she was on the sideline. She was watching the soccer game. She yells at me because we had our kids there. She's like, "Let's go," because I don't want the girls watching this. So I get all my stuff and I leave.
All right, Mr. Mojica, you can't punch him in the face.
Yeah, I understand that.
You caused him serious injury when you punched him in the face.
Yes, I understand.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was just defending myself because he punched me.
No, you weren't.
Well, he punched me first. What?
No, you kicked him first.
No, he kicked me first.
No, you kicked him first. You didn't see how it happened. He was on the ground.
Yes, he was.
That his foot hit yours. Could have been he was getting up. You have no idea what that was, but you have a bad temper. And what happened with your bad temper was you turned around and with all your might, according to you, because you weren't going to give him a tap on the leg, you kicked him purposely. That's what you just told me.
Yes, I kicked him. Yes, I did.
And I don't believe he punched you in the chest.
Yes, he did.
I believe he probably pushed you, and you punched him.
Yes, I did.
Different story. You're going to take care of his medical bills? He's only suing you for $2,000. I would have actually given him a lot more. If you can't control your temper, Mr. Mojica, don't play soccer.
But, Your Honor, there was 2 people attacking me.
If you can't control your temper, don't play soccer. You have to punch somebody really hard to break a jaw. Not a push, not a shove. You got to punch somebody really hard, just like you kick them really hard if you're angry. Charging for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Why was your excuse when you step out?
My jaw was broken. It cost me a lot of money, a lot of anguish, so thought I deserved the money.
I was there taking care of him when he had his jaw wired shut.
I was just defending myself, and things happened.
We had to blend all of his food. It was pretty bad.
I actually did see the plaintiff hit my boyfriend first.
I never punched him, and I never saw my teammate punch him.
My kids were there, and I don't want them to see it.
Just got a little out of control.
I don't know why I got out of control, honestly.
We were a little too aggressive that night.
Tempers flare every once in a while. It's just a bad mistake, and she's ready to put it behind us.
No hard feelings. I mean, we'll have another game. Just keep it friendly next time. No hard feelings.
I wanted to leave peacefully. That was the whole idea. Because she told me to leave.
Was hazardous to her health.
I was going up the stairs and she tripped me. Then she threw the first blow and we started fighting.
So you had a girl fight.
Then
I hear more screaming.
Round 2.
I run back into the home and they're at it again on the floor.
My brother pulled us apart again and I went downstairs and called the police.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
21-year-old Elizabeth Woods is suing her brother, Thomas Woods, and his girlfriend, Stephanie Gonzalez, for the cost to replace a bed and an assault.
Order. All rise. Yeah, that's case number 524 on the calendar, the matter of Woods versus Woods Gonzalez. You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Woods, this young man is your brother, and the co-defendant, Miss Gonzalez, is his girlfriend. They live together.
Yes.
They invited you to move in with them.
Yes.
When was that?
In October of 2010.
Now, you 3 of you were living together. Anybody else living there?
Her family, her mother, 2 years old.
Where's her mother?
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. So you have a 2-year-old child together?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Now, when you moved in October of 2010, things going reasonably?
Yeah, they were going very well.
So you want to tell me what happened?
Well, everything was going good in October, and then November 30th, we actually got in an argument over Facebook, which is public. So I moved it into a text messaging argument, and
I don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you just keep it simple for me?
Okay, it went to text messaging. We were arguing over our cell phones.
About what?
About an argument that was on Facebook.
What do you mean, Miss Woods? I don't know much about this social networking, which I actually believe can be very helpful at some point and very stupid in the hands of people who have too much time on their hands. However, did you put something that she didn't like out there in internet space?
No.
Well, explain to me why she was angry.
She had posted something on the internet.
What did you post on the internet?
That I was going to work on my car. That I was going to change my brakes and do my oil change.
change my brakes and do my oil change. Okay, and?
And me and another friend were joking around with her, trying to show that she wasn't knowledgeable about this topic. We were joking. And she
Knowledgeable? So you and your friends were teasing her?
We were joking. It wasn't necessarily teasing. We were joking around.
And?
And I guess she took it too seriously and became hostile. And she started cussing at me online, so I text messaged her to make it more private between us. Yeah. And then we were arguing. She was calling me vulgar names, things I don't really care to repeat here.
Okay.
And then it turned into threats such as, you better not come home, stay away from me, you're going to be sorry. I actually have the transcript of the text messages if you want to see them.
Do you have what you wrote about her?
On Facebook?
Yes.
No, I don't have access to it because we're not connected.
She has that.
Okay, not that I'm really interested in this, just a matter of idle curiosity. I think I have too much time on my hands today. Can I just see what you... Don't give me a whole book. Just show me what she said about you that irritated you.
Basically, I said, just because you think you know everything about cars doesn't mean you have to be about me learning about my car.
Okay, is that what she said to you?
Yes.
And what did you respond?
I don't remember.
What did she respond?
It's a very long paragraph.
Can I see it? Okay, so that's what you said to her, and let's see what how she responded. Oh, well, I see. You're just going back and forth. You're giving her the business because you said that she was talking about things and she really didn't know what she was talking about, and she could have copied the answers from Google, and anybody could do that, and she's a liar. You were calling her out on being a liar.
Right.
Don't you have better things to do? What does it matter to you?
It was just an irritation. That
what does it matter to you, especially since she lives with your brother, they have a family, they have a 2-year-old child, they took you in. Why would you want to create difficulty with her?
It was just a joke between me and another friend that's
This wasn't a joke.
Well, not after she called me a...
Yeah, this wasn't a joke. It was just nasty and unnecessary for someone who's living with a family that they supposedly get involved with. I mean, it's nothing that should cause any kind of an assault, but it's something that you started. Okay. Now tell me about the day you left the home and claimed she assaulted you. Give me the date.
That was December 28th.
Go.
I was moving out that day because she told me to leave.
Okay.
And I was going up the stairs, and she tripped me, and I turned around.
How did she do that?
What was that?
How did she trip you if you were going up the stairs?
She stuck her foot out and made me stumble.
How?
When I got to the landing is when she stuck her foot out and stumbled me.
So she was upstairs already?
Yes.
And you were going upstairs?
Yes.
So when you got to the top of the stairs, she put her foot out and you tripped over her foot?
Yes.
Okay, and?
And I turned to her and I told her that I wasn't going to fight with her.
Then you must have gotten up.
Well, no, I never actually fell to the ground. I stumbled. I didn't...
Okay, so you didn't fall.
Right.
You sort of lurched.
Yes.
So you weren't injured. And you turned around and said to her...
that I wasn't going to fight with her.
Okay, and?
Then she threw the first blow, and we started fighting.
She threw the first blow where?
At my head.
And then what did you do?
I defended myself.
Then you hit her?
I think I scratched her.
And you scratched her?
Yes.
And did she hit you back?
Yes.
And then did you hit her back?
Yes.
Okay, so you had a girl fight?
Basically.
What happened next?
My brother pulled her off of me.
So your brother was upstairs or downstairs?
He was downstairs. He came upstairs to find us fighting.
No, I was already upstairs in my room right next to the fight, and I witnessed the whole thing.
Don't look down.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you going upstairs for?
My stuff. I was moving out.
Oh, so after you had this girl fight and your brother separated you, did you get your stuff?
I attempted to. Her sisters restrained her in a back room so I can try and get my belongings. Then they left her in the hallway by herself and shut the door. So I found her upstairs by herself, unfortunately, and I even told her again that I didn't want to fight with her. I just wanted my stuff. I wanted to leave peacefully. That was the whole idea. And she grabbed me by a shoulder and put her fist back and hit me again.
Where did she hit you this time?
Again in the head.
And what did you do?
This time I just fell to the ground and tried to cover myself.
Why didn't you defend yourself this time?
I scratched her and I tried to get her off of me, but she kept hitting me in the head.
So you did react to this blow that she gave you by scratching her again?
Yes.
And then what did you do?
And then my brother pulled us apart again, and I went downstairs and called the police.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When she got her most valuable things, I walk outside and she's calling the police. And she says, I can't wait to see the mother of your child get hauled away in a police car. So I took the headboard and I tossed it in the street.
And later today,
I want you to explain to me this wall art.
Sure, I'd be happy to, Judge.
But do it quickly.
Okay, my name's Daniel Lahota.
Listen to me.
What? No?
You've just lost the opportunity to do it, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Elizabeth Woods claims her brother, Thomas Woods, destroyed her bed as a result of a fight she had with his girlfriend.
What happened when
He destroyed my furniture because it was his job to bring my stuff down because it was no longer safe in the house.
You don't say that he destroyed your furniture. You say that he threw part of your bed.
He threw my bed in the street, yes.
Which part of your bed?
The footboard to a frame.
Footboard?
To a frame.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. Were both you and Miss Gonzalez arrested that day?
Miss Gonzalez was arrested.
What about you?
I was not.
Were those charges subsequently dismissed, or was there a trial?
The DA actually rejected it.
The district attorney rejected filing the case?
Yes, he did.
Now, I'm just trying to see where the footboard is broken.
It's actually cracked in half, and then one of the legs is off, too. It's supposed to be one solid piece.
Okay. Now, Mr. Woods, you acknowledged that you threw part of her bed.
I acknowledge I threw the bed, and I acknowledge that the way the story ended up is she skipped a couple parts on my behalf.
Go ahead.
So, of course, the fight broke out when I was upstairs, the first fight. Before the fight had even happened, they had gotten an argument that day because she was supposed to clean the restroom. She did not. They got in an argument over Facebook again over this. I brought her downstairs before she even walked upstairs the first time, and I said, you should understand that you can't tell people things like that. She said, I don't want to get into it with you right now. So she continued to walk back upstairs like nothing was going to happen to her. I followed behind her, and I just let it go. I also talked to my girlfriend, and I said, look, you guys don't need to get in fights like this. We're grown-ups. We're not kids anymore.
Absolutely correct.
So I went into the room. They were arguing back and forth, and I just couldn't take it anymore, so I just let them argue, just keep arguing. And I figured that's all they're going to do.
They were screaming at each other.
No, they weren't even really screaming. They were just, oh, well, you're this, you're that, at a low, calm voice. And when I proceeded to sit down in my chair in the room, which is right next to the staircase coming up, I heard them drop to the floor and start going at it. So I come out, pull them apart. They're, of course, yelling at each other at this time. Her sisters restrain her. I restrain my sister. My father comes upstairs, takes my sister downstairs with him. And, of course, my sister comes back upstairs because she wants her things, which is understandable. So they're holding her back. I'm helping my sister downstairs with her stuff. I go back outstairs, and I'm helping her carry some things out, and I'm talking to my father, which is outside now. I didn't really notice that my sister had also went back inside the house while I'm talking to my father. Me and my father's like, this is ludicrous, you know. He's telling me and my sister, you know, we should split up.
Is that what your father was trying to do?
He thought that it was ridiculous.
He was telling me this is ridiculous, and I'm like, I know. I told him it shouldn't have happened. So in the truck up with her things, I hear more screaming. So I run back into the home, run upstairs, and they're at it again on the floor. So I pulled them back apart, same sequence again, and they're both yelling at each other, fighting at each other again over what she had said in the first place. So again, I rip her apart, and this time she goes downstairs for good. I bring her downstairs, I bring her outside, she's sitting in the car crying, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, look, Lizzie, you started this is what happens. I know we're not supposed to do things like this. We settle this like human beings, you know, reasoning, and she's like, no, I want my things.
For physical stuff. You do understand that, Miss Gonzalez?
Yes, I do.
That it was the wrong thing to do?
Yes, I do.
Where's your 2-year-old during all of this?
Watching.
This is why.
She was not watching. She was upstairs with my sisters in a room.
So your child was home?
Yes, she was.
She was home.
Child was home?
Yes, she was.
She was in a room with her sisters.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to your daughter's mother. So you are involved in physical brawling with your daughter in the house?
Yes.
Oh, is that ridiculous?
It is.
Ridiculous. You could have certainly avoided the whole second confrontation by just letting your father go and get whatever he had to get upstairs. Why would you go back upstairs to a situation where you just had a fight?
My father's on workman's comp. He can't carry anything.
How did you finally get your... Could have happened easily without you going upstairs?
Yes.
Perfect. Get to the bed, would you please?
Yeah, I agreed to, I talked to her, I said, Lizzie, if you would just leave my house, which you are already going to in the first place, if you would just leave my house, stay at my parents' house, I will take every last piece of your furniture with my father and we will bring it to you. She said, all right, if you don't do that, I'm going to call the police. Okay, put my hands up. I go to bring the headboard. It's the biggest thing. But first I bring her Mac laptop, you know, the most expensive electronics, her most prized things.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Once she gets her most valuable things, and I'm bringing the headboard down, once she got her most valuable things, I walk outside and she's calling the police. And she says, I can't wait to see the mother of your child get hauled away in a police car. And I said, Elizabeth, you just agreed with me if I carried your stuff out, you would not call the police. And we agreed to that. So then I proceeded, all right, I'm going to take your stuff and put it out in the street if you don't leave. And you're still on my driveway and you don't leave. So I took the headboard and I tossed it in the street. And no form of hulking it out in the street, picking it up and re-smashing it. That's how it got smashed.
Well, that was temper.
That was temper. I tried agreeing with all of them all day.
Woods?
It was temper, of course.
Temper. It was a high energy moment.
Yes.
So you have to pay for your hissy fit with the headboard.
Yep.
Now, did you get an estimate to fix the headboard?
Receipt that I had, but unfortunately they gave me a package deal, and right now the headboard was $4.99 to replace it.
He didn't break the headboard.
Or the footboard.
No,
and they called the
Don't tell me what
company.
they called. Like somebody to glue it back together again? It's wood. It split off. I mean, it's not as if it's splintered.
It is splintered.
I don't see that it's splintered. Okay. Anything else?
Well, the reason I called the cops, even though we had the agreement, is because my dad could see inside the house and saw that they were just throwing my stuff downstairs. So they were just trying to ruin whatever they could.
All right. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. Get your bed fixed. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She just was bashing me on Facebook.
It was a joke between me and my friends.
I responded maturely, I would say.
That she took a little too seriously.
Because I did not really cuss at her as she claimed.
And unfortunately, it turned into threats through text messaging.
And just her friends and her commenting back and forth, talking trash about me, that's what really pushed my buttons.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lahota versus Milberger, step forward, please.
Daniel Lahota is suing gallery owner C.W. Milberger for defacing a public mural.
Mr. Lahota, I want you to explain to me what your role is with regard to this wall art in your community.
Okay, as quick as possible. My name's Daniel Lahota.
Listen to me.
What? No?
You've just lost the opportunity to do it, sir. Now you listen to me. You have some sort of organization that deals with making the community a more beautiful place to live in by being responsible for putting up wall art on the sides of buildings. On this particular building, which you do not own, there was commissioned a piece of artwork several years ago. And that piece of artwork stayed on that building for several years until Mr. Milberger decided it needed his touch. And he took some paint and painted over part of that mural that was painted on the side of a building. So far correct?
Correct.
You took it upon yourself to have the artist who originally did that wall art restore it to its original grandeur. And you want Mr. Milberger to pay you back for what you spent.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what the case is about.
As he's originally agreed to.
You did not pay for the original piece of art, so he didn't destroy a piece of art that you would pay for. You just wanted it back for the benefit of the community as part of its landscape. When you made this agreement with Mr. Milberger, because you agree that you painted on it.
Yes.
Now I want you to tell me when you made this agreement with Mr. Milberger. Tell me so I believe you.
I made the agreement via email and texts in December of 2010, immediately after the damage had occurred.
Great. Mr. Milberger, where do you live, sir?
Downtown.
Downtown where?
In the Arts District.
You mean in Los Angeles?
Uh-huh.
And where do you do your banking, Mr. Milberger?
Where do I do my banking?
I asked the question.
Right.
You do the answer.
I do my banking at Wells Fargo.
At Wells Fargo. And what's the current balance in your bank account?
Probably negative something.
Probably negative something, right? Do you have a studio someplace?
I've got an art gallery that I kind of live at.
What do you mean an art gallery that you kind of live at? What does that mean?
I sleep on the couch there. I kind of live there.
How much was it to restore this painting, sir?
The final cost was $5,500.
Where is he supposed to get 5,000 cents from?
Mr. Milberger is gainfully employed, runs an art gallery, and puts money into that gallery on a regular basis.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah.
He certainly doesn't put his money into his wardrobe. Let me tell you something, sir. I don't believe that he agreed to pay for it.
I have documents.
2010. I don't believe it.
What can I do to...
Nothing. You can't do anything, sir. You cannot convince me that he agreed to pay you $5,000 to do anything. Put your hands down.
He did. It's right here. I mean, I have it in documentation.
Then I tell you what
writing.
I'm going to do, Mr. Lahota. I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice. You go back to small claims court and sue in small claims court for $5,000. How's that?
I mean,
Good.
I'll do what I have to.
Thank you very much. Dismissed without prejudice.
I'd rather not, Your Honor.
I know you'd rather not.
Why did I excuse you? Misstep out.
He promised to pay for restitution.
I've never had the money to ever...
After it came out publicly that he said he would pay for it.
Right, I can't afford that.
And it made his gallery look better for their little advertising guerrilla marketing stunt.
I have an art gallery. We don't make money at an art gallery. It's an art gallery.
He then came back and said that he reneged on his promise to pay for the mural.
It seems like he's doing nothing but trying to make money for himself.
It was like she was trying to buy Jeffrey's affections.
A teen blinded by love.
I didn't even know he even had the iPod.
Now you know about it.
And an eye-opening lesson from the judge.
Why did you take it?
Because she told me I could have it.
Is there something wrong with you?
Judge.
What's wrong?
No.
Well, you mean you got the message that quickly? I must be getting better.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Sue Gleason is suing her daughter's ex-boyfriend, 18-year-old Jeffrey Grabowski, and his mother, Denise, for the value of an iPod and speakers.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 494 on the calendar in the matter of Gleason versus Grabowski. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Whose iPod was it?
My daughter's.
What's your first name?
Hallie Hawkins.
Hallie, this young man used to be your boyfriend?
Yes.
What's your name?
Jeffrey Grabowski.
Jeffrey, when were you Hallie's boyfriend? From when to when?
Beginning of last year of 2010 to November or October of 2010.
For about 8 or 9 months. Now you're not her boyfriend anymore.
Correct.
Now you have a new girlfriend.
Correct.
Raise your paw. That's the new girlfriend.
Yes.
And how long has she been your girlfriend? Broke up with, or Hallie broke up with you?
After I broke up with her.
And you broke up with her because you met somebody new?
Correct.
And did you tell her that?
Yes.
And you felt badly? Right?
Yeah.
So now, Jeffrey, I'm going to come to you. This is what this case is about. It's about an iPod that belonged to Hallie.
Correct.
And she came over to your house and, according to you, gave you the iPod.
Yes.
She said she loaned it to you, but according to you, she gave it to you.
Correct.
Because she still cared about you and was trying to win you back.
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
And in what month and year did she come over to give it to you?
October 31st.
After you had already broken up with her?
Correct.
And after you had the new girlfriend?
Yes.
That she knew about? Why did you take it?
I thought it was a gift because she's giving me
I don't
things.
care what you thought. The question is, why did you take it?
Because she told me I could have it.
Is there something wrong with you? Yeah, there is. That's something just morally wrong. You don't understand that? I'm sure your mother understands that, don't you? Because you have some sort of stupid counterclaim for harassment. You understand that your 18-year-old son, who had broken up with his girlfriend, had no right to take an iPod and speakers from her that she gave him back. You do understand that, don't you?
I didn't even know she gave him, or he even had the iPod.
Just as I don't care whether you knew about it, now you know about it. Because you filed a counterclaim.
Yes, ma'am.
So no, you know about it.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you whether or not now you know it was wrong for him to take it.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Do you understand it was wrong? Did you understand before you came here that it was wrong?
No.
So you mean you got the message that quickly? I must be getting better.
Your Honor, may I say something?
please? Oh, sure. That's what television is about. Somebody who always wants to say something. Say whatever you want to say.
Yes, ma'am. During the course of their relationship, Holly had always brought Jeffrey gifts. She always brought him sneakers, jackets, anything. She always brought him something and told him it was for him as a gift. It was like she was trying to buy Jeffrey's affections all the time. And she never complained about anything before, about leaving everything with him before.
Don't you understand what I just said to you? I mean,
I
is there
understand
something
that,
in the
Your Honor.
timeline that you don't understand?
I understand
that during
Your
the
Honor.
time that they were in a relationship, she would bring him gifts. Now he broke up with her because he had this new young damsel. What's your name?
Julia.
Julia.
Well, there's more to it than
just
that,
said
Your
as
Honor.
he now has Julia. He broke up with
To that than what Jeffrey said.
What?
Was that Holly knew about Julia.
He said she told her about
I understand that, but Holly knew that specific day that she came that Julie was in the hospital.
So?
She came over to visit him, intending on trying to get him back.
That's what I just said. Don't you have your listening ears on?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
I said to him, and I said to you, she came over to try to woo him back by giving him the iPod. And I said it was immoral.
Yes, ma'am.
For him to take it.
I apologize.
He should have said, we're not together anymore. I'm not going to take any expensive presents from you. I'm with the lovely Julia, and I want to stay with the lovely Julia, and I'm not going to accept iPods or sneakers or anything else. Now, do you understand?
Yes.
And you, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you his father?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. How old are you?
15.
And how old was Jeffrey when you gave him this iPod?
He was about 16 or 17.
16 or 17?
Yeah, his birthday was just in January.
No, ma'am. Jeffrey was 17 when Holly gave him the iPod. Jeffrey turned 18 the end of December.
She cannot make a contract to give him anything. She's 15 years old, but you can't sell it. You can't. But he's a minor. This iPod, after he turned 18, did you do that?
No, ma'am.
You sold it when you were 17.
Correct.
Can I ask December what is his birthday?
Doesn't make any difference. He sold it.
I have a note that Holly and one of Jeff's, I believe now ex-friends, stating that Jeff did sell the iPod.
Listen to me. You can't show me that. It's hearsay. She gave him the iPod in October. When did you ask for it back?
I asked for it in a few days. It was actually the end of November.
I'm not asking you. You weren't there. I'm asking you. When did you ask for it back?
January 1st.
You just told me November.
Yeah, I was with him on November 30th.
Yes.
And then I asked for it on January 1st.
No, December 1st.
December 1st.
Are you trying to guess where you're supposed to be?
No.
So you asked for it on December 1st?
Yes.
And he told you that he sold it?
Mm-hmm.
So, should have held on to it. You can't sue him. He's a minor just like you are. But there was something amoral about what you did. It's not a moral thing to do. So I'm glad you understand that, and your mother understands it, and your father understands it. But you have no cause of action against him or his mother. You didn't know he sold it, did you?
No, ma'am. Like I said, I didn't even know he had it. I was just used to her bringing him stuff. And
Okay. What else do you want to say, Miss Gleason? I'm ready to do my next case.
I went to their house around the beginning of December, 1st or 2nd, and I went to the door to get the iPod and speaker back. And Mr. Grabowski came to the door and told me that the iPod and speaker were not there, that Jeff was in jail.
So?
And then, a few minutes later, Mrs. Grabowski came out and told me that the iPod and speaker was not there because Jeff was in Kansas visiting his brother.
So what?
At the same time.
Well, maybe she didn't want to tell you that her son was in jail. Were you in jail?
Yes.
I can understand a mother not wanting to tell another mother that her son's in jail and saying that he's visiting Kansas. You can understand that, can't you?
Sort of.
Of course.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your oldest child never lied?
Not that I ever caught her in.
It's a miracle.
Yes.
Never lied. Mm-hmm. A girl?
Yes.
They lie all the time.
And later today,
You paid for the insurance and let her drive the car.
Correct.
There's something else here that I'm not getting.
Okay.
Something
Why don't I
else here
start
that
from
I'm
the beginning?
Actually, something here that I'm not getting.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sue Gleason says her daughter's ex-boyfriend, Jeffrey Grabowski, free claims the items were given to him and he's countersuing for harassment.
Anyway, one minor can't sue another minor. They give away these things all the time. Parents are supposed to keep closer track of their children.
It was supposed to be loaned for a couple of days.
No.
It was not given.
Yeah,
because
I know,
Holly
that's
came
what
home
you
and
say.
told me.
I know that that's what you say. I don't necessarily believe it. Whether I believe it or not is not relevant. She can't sue him. He was a minor at the time. She turned over this property to him. He sold it. You can't sue his mother to get it back. She didn't even know about it. Neither did you. Who bought her the iPod?
I did.
Does she have another one?
No.
Good. He can't buy somebody's affection.
I didn't try to buy his affection.
Yeah, sure you did.
No, because she didn't like him at that point.
Listen to me. How many children do you have?
3.
How many teenagers?
1.
Who's the only teenager?
This one.
The other 2 older or younger?
Older.
Older. You didn't learn from raising 2 other teenagers that they lie most of the time?
Actually, my oldest one never did. My youngest one, middle
Your
one.
oldest child never lied?
Not that I ever caught her in. No. I was very fortunate.
Miracle.
Yes.
Never lied. Never lied.
Not that I ever caught her in. No,
Well, that's a different story. A girl?
Yes.
A girl? They lie all the time. All the time. They're smarter, and they usually tell cunning lies. They usually gotta hold on to your stuff. You're not supposed to buy somebody's affection, right? And if you're going to turn your heart over to somebody, make sure they're worth it. Not somebody who would take your property knowing why it was given to them and do so in a really pretty devious way. Do you understand, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Great. Your case is dismissed, that's all. Oh, you have a harassment case against her?
I would like to...
It's dismissed.
Okay, thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I lended to him. I was dating him at the time.
At the time, it was on and off, but at that point, no, we were not.
And I lended to him, and when we broke up, I went to go get it, and he refused to give it to me.
Because she told me I could keep it.
He was like, no, you're not. I'm not giving you back. I want it.
She didn't want it back.
I was like, well, I want it back. And he was like, well, you're not getting it back.
So I figured, okay, it's mine. I should be able to do what I want with it.
I'm never dealing with him again.
To watch her back, or she will start stuff with you.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Smith versus Woods. Step forward.
Crystal Smith is suing her former friend, 25-year-old Vanity Woods, for tickets, impound fees, and vandalism after she allowed Vanity to borrow her car.
The whole of this case actually revolves around you loaning your car to the defendant. It is your claim that while she had possession of the car, she got a series of parking tickets that ultimately resulted in the car being impounded. You want impound fees on the car.
And the repairs that I had to do after taking the car from her.
Are you talking about the brakes that you had put on the car?
Brakes and tires that she slashed.
We'll get to the slashed tires in a minute if you have proof of slashed tires. Let's get to the parking tickets. When did she have possession of the car?
From September till December.
Of 2010?
Correct.
Why?
Because I purchased a new car, and she asked me if she can borrow the car to get around because she just had moved into her new apartment. And me being a friend, I let her use it.
Is there insurance on the car?
Yes, it was.
Who paid for the insurance?
Me.
So September, October, November, and part of December, you paid for the insurance and let her drive the car?
Correct.
Yeah. There's something else here that I'm not getting.
Okay.
Something else here that
from the beginning.
There's actually something here that I'm not getting.
Me paying the insurance, or
the whole story about you lending her a car for 4 months.
Because I can start from the beginning.
I don't want to go back to the beginning.
Okay, so what part?
I want you to explain to me why you let somebody have your car for 4 months.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It was my friend, and I know that she was just getting around from a bad situation. So me trying to be a good friend, I had the money at the time because she just moved into her new place. So, yeah,
you're telling me that you were just being a friend.
Correct.
Is that right?
No, it wasn't her just being a friend. It was a number of different things that happened before, like, I ever got the car. Like, the reason that I got the car, I just got a lump sum of money, and there was a number of different things that, I was going about doing, and she was able to partake in them, too.
Like what?
We would go...
No, like what?
We would go out, we would get our hair done, we would do things together as friends. Like,
what did you get a large sum of money for?
Well, my mother had passed away, and I had got a large sum of money from...
How much?
It was like $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I had got the large sum of money from her estate. So once I had got the money, I was still living in her home.
When did you move into her home?
I had moved into her home maybe middle of June, maybe beginning of July.
No, May.
May. And when did you get the money?
About the end of May.
And how long did you stay in her home?
For about a month, maybe 2 at the most.
After they got the money?
After I got the money.
And how much of the money did you give her for being in your home?
Close to like maybe $1,000. It wasn't that I handed her any money. It was like I handed her like the rent.
When you moved into your own apartment, how did you get around? In what?
I hadn't had a car in like 6 months before that.
When did you have possession of the car, Miss Woods?
I gained possession of the car in September, but it wasn't full possession because there was never a time where I was just able to just use the car and just do what I needed to do. There was times where she would take the car and she'd be gone in it for hours at a time. There's some times where she'd take it for a week or a couple of days or whenever she wanted. It was her car.
And I'd like to see when those tickets were acquired. Thank you. Who lives on the 685 South?
That's the area she lives in. That's all her.
This is my thing. I told her.
Listen to me carefully. Just answer my question. Don't tell me what you told her. Is this near where you live?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you got all these tickets because you parked and let the meter expire. Is that what you did?
Well, I'm not denying that I got the ticket.
Well, you did it first. You did in your answer.
No, what I said
so if
was...
you... She had possession of the car when the tickets were obtained, so I refused of the car.
Correct.
So, but this is where you live.
You don't know the whole story. Like, there is a number of different things going on in the situation. There's a time... There were...
care. I just care who had possession of the car when the car was parked at expired meters. That would be you.
Yes.
I don't care about boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't care about any of that. That's not my business. My business is if you had possession of the car and you got the parking tickets, then you have to pay the parking tickets. And if our car got towed because there were unpaid tickets, you have to pay for the impound. It's your irresponsibility. Now do you get it?
I got it from the beginning.
So why didn't you pay the tickets?
Because if I wasn't in possession of the car, why am I going to pay tickets that I wasn't in possession of?
Because you were in possession of the car when the...
No.
You mean she came to your house, parked her car at your house, and stayed in your house and got these tickets? Is that what you're saying to me?
There was a number of times where her car was parked in my neighborhood when I came home from work, okay? So she was at my house all the time.
Oh, my.
Did you pay off these tickets?
I paid a couple of them.
That's either yes or no. Did you pay the
I didn't
tickets?
pay all of them, no.
The last part of your lawsuit, when were the tires slashed on your car?
It was the day after we got into it when I told her she couldn't have my car back.
She actually took possession of the car on the 5th.
17th.
Of
That's
what?
when she... Of December.
Is that before or after?
That was before that. That was before my car got towed.
Oh, and you said she couldn't have it back?
When the brakes had went out.
Okay, so you got into an altercation.
Correct.
About her not getting the car back. Okay. Did you see her slash the tires on your car?
No, but my roommate, my girlfriend, witnessed her kneel down leaving from my car that morning at 5 o'clock in the morning.
So far, is that what you're going to testify if you stand up there?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your name?
Lanisha Cole.
Do you have the police report that you filed?
No, I didn't. I lost the police report, but I do have the card and everything because they told me.
I'm not taking the card, madam. Did you give the police, when you notified them, you're not paying attention?
I'm listening. That's why I'm leaning forward, because I'm trying to really listen to what you're saying.
When you called the police to notify them that your car had been vandalized, did you give them your roommate's name as a witness?
No, because she had left for work.
That's why they didn't arrest her, because you found your tires slashed. But you didn't say that anyone witnessed it, right?
Right.
Because, Your Honor, nobody actually witnessed it. I didn't do it.
Well, of course, nobody witnessed it because they would have questioned her and they would have come and arrested you.
Well, the date that she allegedly
listen to me.
Does
it sound as if you have to respond to that? Does it sound as if you have to respond to me?
No, but I chose to respond.
Does it sound like you have to respond to me?
No, but I chose to.
Well, you can't, because I make the rules. You owe $1,206. That's all. Thank you very much.
Why is that excuse? Let's step out.
Yes, I did get tickets. Plenty of them.
She wasn't paying them. Just period. She wasn't going to pay them.
I'm sure I'm going to get a few more.
Because she didn't have the car no more. She wasn't going to pay them.
But it's just like the tickets.
It was just whatever.
If I did them, I don't have a problem with paying them.
It wasn't no other way she could deny it. Who else got in the car, Ghost?
You think we have a problem paying tickets? I doubt it.
His tattoo shop.
I'm a little nervous in front of a judge.
You don't have to be nervous in front of me, sir. I'm a pussycat.
Her tattoo trouble.
What would cause an infection?
It could be anything.
He also has a fish shop in there now. He was running back and forth to service people in the fish area.
I would get up and leave.
But I also did not want to leave with a half-done tattoo.
Oh, you got an infection instead. That's smarter.
Judge Judy. You are about to... The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
20-year-old Anna Dixon is suing tattoo shop owner Stephen Woody Kuchik for tattoo costs and medical bills resulting from an infection she developed after receiving a tattoo at his shop.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 508 on the calendar, the matter of Dixon versus Kuchik.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Dixon, you went to the defendant's shop to have another tattoo. You had already had a tattoo at his shop. You wanted something else. You went there. He did something for you. And you claim that owing to unsanitary conditions, you developed an infection. He also didn't do a good job. You want your money back, your medical bills, and pain and suffering. So far, that's correct?
Yes.
Mr. Kuchik says there was nothing wrong with the work he did. He did not cause any infection to your leg because of the location where this tattoo was placed. It is usually painful because it's a delicate area.
Actually, Your Honor...
Shh. He volunteered to make any modifications that you wanted when you came in and you wanted some correct... Yeah. When was the first time that you had a tattoo with Mr. Kuchik?
When I was 15, I had one on my lower belly.
Who went with you at that time?
My mom.
Is that the first tattoo that you had had?
No, it was the third.
When you were 15?
I actually did something really stupid, and she wanted it covered up, so that's why I got it.
How many tattoos had you had by the time you were 15?
3.
How old are you now?
20.
How many tattoos have you had since you're 15?
Altogether, I had 6.
Why?
Because I like tattoos.
Why?
I just think they're pretty.
Do they hurt to have done?
They do.
How many times have you had infections?
I have never had an infection, and I also had one on my ankle and my foot before these.
So you've never had an infection?
No.
This was the first time?
Yes.
Would you have other tattoos?
No, not after this, after all the pain I went through.
So you're finished?
Yes.
With tattoos? Well, that's smart.
I was put on bed rest and had to miss work.
Listen, smart. Yeah. Did you perform the tattoo service?
No, I did not.
Who did?
A gentleman that was working in my studio, Mike.
Okay. But it's your studio?
Yes.
Okay. Has Mr. been working for you for long?
Approximately 6 months or so.
He's worked on Miss Dixon. How long had he been working for you?
About 5 months, 4 months.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Just a minute. I'll get to you. I want you to tell me at the time that he did Miss Dixon, which was on what date?
February 8th, Tuesday.
How long had he been working for you, Mr. Kuchik?
Approximately 4 months.
And he worked for you for 2 months after that, is that right?
About a month or so. I don't have exact dates or anything.
Well, I want you to get exact dates, sir. That's why we're here. You can't testify to anything that this other person did because you didn't do the work. So I'm going to ask you very generic questions that, as the business owner, you should have an answer to.
Okay.
You had a tattoo person working for you. He was working for you for approximately 6 months. I asked you how much after Miss Dixon was tattooed, which was on February 8th, did this man work for you?
Well, about a month. I just got rid of him less than a week ago.
Why did you, I'm using your term, get rid of him?
Well, he just went on as a...
No, that's not... No. Mr. Kuchik, you don't say he decided to move on and use the term, I got rid of him. That's different.
It was a mutual agreement.
No, that's not mutual. There's nothing mutual about I got rid of him, Mr. Kuchik. There's nothing mutual about I got rid of him.
Okay.
We had this. Don't look over there. Look over here. Why did he leave?
A little bit of everything with this going on.
Let's start. Let's start with what?
With the
Now, I'm not saying that anything that he did was wrong or anything else. I just want to know why you, as his boss, got rid of him.
With this whole lawsuit deal, it's making my studio look bad, in a nutshell.
Well, are you a fair person, sir?
I like to think so.
Have you had other tattoo artists?
Oh, yes.
How many?
I would say probably about 8 or 9.
Have other people complained about your tattoo artists?
No, ma'am.
Ever?
No, ma'am.
So the only one that you had complaints about was this man?
And only one complaint.
Just a second. The only complaint that you had was with regard to this man?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you're a fair man and you believe that this complaint is unfounded, you wouldn't get rid of the artist, would you? That would be unfair.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain to you.
No. Just listen to my question.
Okay.
If you have a tattoo artist, and you've had 8, and they only have one complaint, and you as the owner of the store believes that that complaint is unfair and unfounded, it would be wrong of you as the owner to succumb to some unfounded employee. Do we understand each other?
Yes.
Now, what are the other reasons? You said there were several reasons that you got rid of him.
Because of him refusing to come to court today.
Okay. He refused to come to court.
He wanted to handle it locally. He didn't want to be on TV, basically.
Well, then he's smart. You never know what's going to happen. Now, where had he worked prior to your shop?
He worked at a place called The Trap, I think it's called.
I don't know. So I don't even know where you live.
The Trap.
Is it another tattoo establishment?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did he work there?
I'm not sure.
Didn't you check his references?
No, actually I didn't.
Why not?
I just checked out his portfolio, and I've seen some of his work. He brought clients in to my studio, and I watched him tattoo them.
Okay.
That's how I made sure that he was up to par.
Okay. And he worked for you for 4 months, and you let him go for 2 reasons, according to you. Is that right?
Somewhat, yes.
What are the other reasons, Mr. Kuchik?
Oh, because of the court deal, and because...
You do understand that if you fire somebody because they refuse to come to television, they could bring you to court.
It wasn't so much a firing, you know.
You told me you got rid of him. What does that mean?
But I also said that he...
You said I got rid of him, then you thought better of what you said.
I'm a little nervous in front of a judge.
You don't have to be nervous in front of me, sir. I'm a pussycat.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If somebody were going to do something filthy while they were using needles around me, I would get up and leave.
But I also do not want to leave with a half-done tattoo.
Well, that's stupid. Don't you understand that that's stupid?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Anna Dixon says she developed an infection after receiving a tattoo at a shop owned by Woody Kuchik. She is suing for tattoo costs, medical bills, and pain and suffering.
All right. Miss Dixon, I would like to see this tattoo that this man
Do you
did.
want to see my foot, or do you want to see pictures?
I want to see foot.
Okay. If you actually look at it really close...
I don't want to look at it that closely. Nobody looks at your foot that closely. Okay. That's the whole thing that he did?
Yes.
And how much did you pay him for that?
$250 plus the ATM fee, where I had to run to the ATM because...
I don't care about the ATM fee, madam. $250. And have you shown that tattoo to Mr. Kuchik?
Yes.
What do you think about that work, sir?
I saw it 3 to 4...
No, I'm talking about it now.
I haven't seen it recently.
Oh, well, I would like her to show it to you.
It could use a little touching up, but it's not bad.
Touching up where?
Just like weak lines. Some of the lines could be sculpted slightly better. But when it comes to a foot and an ankle, there's a lot of bending and movement, so that's par for the course also.
Okay. Now, I'd like to see the medical records that you have. You know, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what right foot cellulitis is after tattoo placement.
It is actually either staph or strep.
Well, I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a doctor?
No, I'm a registered nurse. I'm Annie's mom, if I could come up.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me your name.
Rebecca.
Rebecca what?
Ritchie.
Where are you licensed? In what state?
In the state of Indiana.
When were you licensed?
In 1998.
Are you currently employed as a registered nurse?
I work as a traveling nurse.
What does that mean?
And do whatever nursing is contracted to me.
I don't understand that. You work for a company?
Different companies. I basically contract myself.
I don't understand that. Explain it to me.
Okay, are you looking for my credentials?
Yes, I'm looking for your credentials. If I have to be satisfied that you're an expert witness, madam, that you can testify, because right now I have no testimony and no doctor here, nobody who treated your daughter. So I have to be totally satisfied that you are expert enough to testify to my satisfaction what cellulitis is.
I have a registered nurse license. You'd like for me to get that and show that to you for the state of Indiana?
I would. What is your educational background?
I have an associate's degree in nursing, and I'm working on my bachelor's degree.
So you don't have a bachelor's degree?
No, I'm just working on that. And there's my license showing that I'm a registered nurse.
So you do not have a bachelor's degree or any higher degree in medicine? Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
It is.
And you've never been qualified to testify as an expert witness in any court, I assume? No, because you're not an expert witness, so you can't tell me what cellulitis is. Mm-hmm. Thank you. You could sit down. Now, I want you to describe...
Can I start from the start?
No, just describe to me after the tattoo what happened to your leg.
I had to go to school that night, and it started like throbbing in my ankle, and I went home that night, and I thought, you know, maybe it was because of the tattoo, because tattoos hurt, you know. And the next morning I woke up, when I got out of bed, I fell to the ground. I had to scoot downstairs because I stay upstairs. And I scooted down the stairs because it was so excruciating. I sat on the couch for a while thinking that maybe it was still normal. And then Thursday I woke up and I thought if it didn't...
So you stayed home that day?
Yes. Okay, the next day I went to school and it was still excruciating that I could barely walk. I limped all day. And so I went to a tattoo artist near my town and I asked him...
You can't tell me what a tattoo artist said to you, madam. It's hearsay.
Okay.
When did you go to the doctor?
I went Thursday night. I went to the hospital.
And had you been soaking your leg? Had you been icing your leg? Had you been doing anything else to your leg?
Yes, I actually had been putting heat pads on it and using tattoo goo.
What is that?
It's like a type of wash that you put on it to help it heal.
Who prescribed that?
You buy it from a tattoo parlor.
Do you live with your mother or do you live...
I live with my father.
You live with your father? Mm-hmm. How close do you live to your mother?
Like 10 minutes.
Did she come over to questions as to what you should do?
She told me I should...
I didn't ask you what she told you. I just asked you, did she give you any suggestions?
Yes.
Did you follow those suggestions?
Yes.
Okay. So other than the tattoo wash, what else did you do for your leg?
I elevated it and stayed in bed until I went to the hospital, and that was it.
Okay. You were prescribed Bactrim and Keflex.
That's for a bacterial infection?
Yeah. Well, I know what Keflex is. It's for an infection. Sir, would you have any sense as to what would cause an infection in a tattoo site? You're the tattoo artist. You're the tattoo expert.
It could be anything, touching it with dirty hands.
She didn't do that.
Wearing shoes, boots, socks, restrictive clothing.
Could it also, sir, come from an unclean tattoo person giving her tattoos?
Oh, I'm sure it could.
More likely.
More likely?
Yeah.
It's so easy to keep everything sterile in this business. I mean, as long as you go by the guidelines, you know?
Well, it would be easy for me, sir, to ask about that, except that the person who works for you refused to come to court, and you can't testify as to how he, in fact, worked. But what I do know is it is common sense infection after a tattoo. And since I can't examine the person who did the tattoo to determine whether or not they exercised appropriate cautions in giving her this tattoo, and there is no question that the infection, because this was some sort of an infection, that occurred at the tattoo site, that's according to this report, it was at the site, then I must assume, for the purpose of small claims proceedings, that it was as a result of the person who administered the tattoo.
Can I say something?
What?
He also has a fish shop in there now, and as his employee was giving me the tattoo, he was not there, and he was running back and forth to service people in the fish area.
Well, let me ask you this question, madam. You're a 20-year-old and seemingly intelligent woman, other than the fact that you've had half a dozen tattoos on your body. If somebody were going to do something filthy while they were using needles around me, I would get up and leave. So don't sit there and tell me that, you know, he was getting up and doing something and servicing customers and then coming back to work for you when you sat there. That's stupid, right?
Yes.
Somebody's doing something that looks dirty, and you're telling me about it now. So you're telling me about it now, knowing that at that time you were thinking about it. It's back, take care of me, or lizards and coming back and taking care of me. So you must have remembered it. I would say thank you very much. I'll have this done someplace else.
But I also did not want to leave with a half-done tattoo.
Well, that's stupid. Don't you understand that that's stupid?
Yes, but then I wouldn't have gotten my money back, and then I would have had to go pay more money.
Oh, you got an infection instead. That's smarter. Is that smarter?
No, but I didn't think I would obtain an infection because that's why I pay good money.
That's what happens when somebody who's not clean puts needles around your body. And that's what you were complaining about. So he's responsible for your medical bills. What were your medical bills?
I didn't have any medical bills. I had medicine and the...
Well, you went to the doctor.
Yes.
And? You didn't pay for that?
No.
You had medicines. Did you pay for that?
Yes.
How much were the medicine?
$9.
Now, how many days did you stay home from work?
I stayed home 3.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I work at Sears.
How much do you earn a day?
$7.25 an hour, and I usually work 6-hour shifts.
Now, do you have a written estimate from anyone else as to how much it will cost to neaten up this tattoo?
I have some papers here, too.
For what?
Well, release that she signed, our autoclave.
Oh, I don't buy this, madam.
It's expensive
ridiculous.
Because he told me if I did lazy surgery.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You pay $250 for the tattoo. That's not all that bad. You want this person typed up a letter that they want $800 to fix it. That's not happening. Okay, $9 for your medicine, $144 for 3 days missed work. Now I want to see her release.
And also, shh. Okay.
Did you sign this?
I did.
Case is dismissed. You signed a release. You signed a release and you say you're over the age of 18 years old. My signature below, I certify that I'm over the age of 18 and willing to submit to these procedures with the full understanding of possible complications such as, but not limited to, infection, allergic reaction, or rejection of the ink. I have received a copy of the suggested aftercare instructions, which I have read and fully understand, and assume full responsibility for aftercare and cleanliness. Did you sign this? Yes,
I did.
You did. So why are you here?
Because I shouldn't have gotten an infection.
Well, but that's what they say happens sometimes when you get a tattoo.
But you know what? Even with the infection...
I've been not speaking to you.
Okay.
So I have to live with the tattoo for the rest of my life that not only caused me to pretty much lose my job almost.
Wear slacks. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Step out.
I paid good money to get a good tattoo.
When she left my studio, I asked her, how do you like it? She loved it.
Now I'm going to have to pay money that I don't have to get this fixed.
And then 2 days later, I get a call from Mommy.
And I don't have $800.
Now she's got a complaint.
I'm going to have to live with this all summer and be embarrassed.
Because Mommy doesn't like her tattoo.
You were in the store with your son, and he broke a table.
A policy of you break it, you bought it.
You purchased it in 2004. So from 2004 to 2010, it didn't sell.
Correct.
Or a slick way to move merchandise.
I have a question for you. Was there a price on this table?
Absolutely not.
This is what we're going to do, Mr. Gray. This is what I'm going to do.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Shop owner John Gray is suing customer Lisa that was broken by her 4-year-old son.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 499 on the calendar in the matter of Gray versus Jedlowski.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Gray, you own a shop. What kind of a store is it?
It's a very high-end jewelry store and art glass. I design jewelry very expensive.
And art glass.
Art glass, yes.
And Ms. Jedlowski, you were in the store, you with your son, and during the course of that visit to the store with your son, he broke a table. And Mr. Gray wants you to be responsible for that table. When were you in the store, Ms. Jedlowski?
I was in the store March 31st, 2010.
How old is your son?
He's 4 now.
Well, he was 3.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were there alone with him?
Yes.
You were shopping for jewelry?
No, ma'am.
What were you shopping for?
I was consigning a wedding band.
So you were consigning it by turning it in to Mr. Gray to sell for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you, in fact, do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And did Mr. Gray take possession of it?
Yes.
Did he ultimately sell it for you?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever retrieve it?
Yes.
So you have your ring back?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Mr. Gray, when and from whom did you purchase this table?
I purchased it.
A minute. When did you purchase it from her?
I purchased it in 2004 from the Philadelphia show in...
You purchased it in 2004?
Correct.
Now, is this a display table or a table for sale?
It's a table for sale.
So from 2004 to 2010, it didn't sell?
Correct.
And what did you purchase the table for in 2004?
$1,800, and then it was shipped for $55, so the total is
Show me.
$1,855.
That better be an accurate receipt, Mr. Gray. Not a copy, not an anything.
Well, it is a copy in a sense, but it is the original. I also have this from her that explains the price to repurchase it now. It's more expensive today.
I don't care what the repurchase price is. You had it for 6 years. You couldn't sell it.
It's not that I couldn't sell it.
Couldn't sell it. You're in business. If you could
I
sell
have
it for a profit, you would have
extensive
sold.
inventory.
Mr. Gray,
if I
let's
sold
not,
all of my inventory
Mr. Gray,
in 2 years, I'd be in great shape.
Mr. Gray, I came from a retail family. If you buy something for $1,800, I'm not sure I'd... Where's the original of this?
You couldn't read my copy. It was one of those imprinted, the pink or yellow copy. You could not read it. So I had her email me her copy of the original, and that's the best I got out of it. The one I had, you could not read every time I went through the copies.
Well, let me explain something to you, Mr. Gray. You see why I find this suspect, sir? I find it suspect because if you don't have an original, then I would have to reconstruct. But you have the original because you said, I couldn't read it. I found it, but I couldn't read it because it was very faint after all this time. So I contacted her, and she sent me a copy of what I said I paid for it. And you made a subjective test yourself that I couldn't make a judgment whether or not I could read the original or not, or whether someone else could read the original or not. So I am not buying this copy. Do you understand? Now you can return this because it's not evidence. It's hearsay. Now I'll take a look at the table that you couldn't sell in 6 years. Miss Jedlowski, I have a question for you. When your son knocked over this table, I want you to listen to me very carefully. When your son knocked over this table, the normal reaction, I assume you did.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And you do understand that you are responsible for the damage to the store because you're the child's mother. You should have been watching a 3-year-old around that kind of a store. So you're responsible for what happened. So after you checked to see that your child was in good shape, you looked at the table, correct?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
I trusted Mr. Gray's opinion.
Don't tell me you trusted him. I don't believe that. Doesn't make sense. Child falls, child was uninjured, table is broken. You look at the table, you say, oh my goodness, I'm sorry this happened, right? Because I have a question for you that's really important. And make sure I get the correct answer, because otherwise you're not a stupid woman, are you?
I hope not.
Great. Was there a price on this table?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Right. So could you explain to me, Mr. Gray, when you put on this sign with a price tag on the table?
It was on there prior to the table being damaged. And it's always been on the side of the table like that. I don't like prices to be blaring in front of people.
Ms. Jedlowski's insurance company, Mr. Gray, offered you $1,200. Is that correct?
Yes.
When did they offer you $1,200?
After accept responsibility right away, and I'm the one who suggested that she contact her insurance company. After all, she's in my store trying to sell a ring, so I thought that would mitigate the damage. I don't think she understood how expensive the table was prior to accepting responsibility.
This is what we're going to do, Mr. Gray. This is what I'm going to do. You should have taken the insurance check for $1,200.
It's a piece of artwork.
Listen to me.
It does not
Listen to me
depreciate.
very carefully, sir. If you can produce for me the original bill of sale.
The insurance company accepted that bill of
Listen
sale.
to me, sir. I don't care. Listen, are you comparing my intellect to that of an insurance adjuster?
No, ma'am, but I am saying that at that point in time, that was my reference.
Mr. Gray, I don't care whether it was your reference or not. Don't substitute my intellect for that of anyone else's.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Gray, you're not going to scam me or her.
And later today,
I have to have a vehicle in order to get a job. And she has been going on interviews, Your Honor. I'm sorry to interrupt. She has been going on interviews. I've given her rides to try to
Why
get
are
jobs.
you talking to me?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shop owner John Gray says customer Lisa Jedlowski owes for a glass table that was broken by her 4-year-old son.
Things. If you can establish to my satisfaction via the mail, by way of original receipts from you and the artist, I want your original because I want to be able to look at it, and the artist's, because the artist prepared this copy from something, unless she created it out of whole cloth at your request. So this is what I'm ruling, because you're not going to scam me or her. If you can establish by way of original bills that you paid $1,800 for it, I will advance this case without you here and make a judgment for you in the amount of $1,800 against the defendant. I want you to pay careful attention to this, Ms. Jedlowski. If, however, I do not receive that from you, your case will be marked dismissed, and I suggest you recontact the insurance company to try to get them to give you the $1,200. Do you understand my ruling?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She'd come in to sell a piece of jewelry, and here her son damages his table.
Don't worry about it.
I am the one who suggested she contact her insurance company. I didn't say don't worry about it.
It's no problem. Let's go out for coffee.
He's
not a jewelry artist. He's a scam artist.
You don't survive in my business for 30 years by being a scam artist.
Don't trust a car salesman. Don't trust your jewelry salesman.
I think those comments come from, I don't know, a strange background.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lydell versus Leonardo, step forward.
Tamara Lydell is suing her former friend, 25-year-old Stacy Leonardo, for illegally repossessing her truck. Stacy says Tamara's payments were always late.
Ms. Lydell, in 2008, according to your complaint, you signed a purchase agreement with the defendant to purchase a truck from her. You agreed to take over the payments on the truck, and when all the payments were made, the truck would be placed in your name. So far, correct?
Yes.
According to you, you made your payments, as you were supposed to, and in 2010, the defendant repossessed the truck. You want $5,000 because you put in over $8,000 in the 2 years that you had the truck, and you claim she had no reason to repossess it.
Yes.
The defendant says you were late in payments. She had every reason to repossess it because your late payments were negatively impacting her credit. So what I want you to do, Ms. Lydell, is tell me in what month and year you purchased the car.
In June of 2008.
And in what month did...
10.
What date in June?
June 25th.
And on what date were the payments due each month?
The 10th of every month.
I would like to see, first, proof that you made a payment on the car on June 10th, 2010.
I did not make a payment on...
So you did not make the June payment?
No.
So at the time she repossessed the car, you were already 15 days late.
Yes, Your Honor.
In paying for the car.
Yes.
Now I'd like to see proof of payment for May of 2010.
Right here is a deposit slip that I deposited into her account.
So this was deposited on May 15th, which was 5 days late.
Yes.
I'd like to see April.
I do not have April's deposit slip, but she does have them all.
Can I see when she made her payment in April?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's great. So April, you made it a day early.
Yes.
What about March? Paid it just 2 days late. She paid it each month on the 9th of the month because it was due on the 10th.
Okay.
So she was waiting for your money.
Okay.
Now, you want to tell me why you hadn't made June's payment?
Because I lost my job in April. I let her know I was waiting for a check in the mail. I kept letting her know every day that it didn't come, it didn't come, it didn't come. It was coming from out of state, and she pulled the truck before I could get the payment. I got the money a couple of days after she got the truck.
What date?
I believe it was a Tuesday, the Tuesday after, so that would have been 29th.
So already it was 20 days late.
Right.
Go ahead.
So I let her know that I had the payment and to bring me back the truck, and she would not respond. She wouldn't bring me back the truck. I couldn't get any response from her whatsoever.
Are you working now?
I am not.
How are you supposed to pay for the truck?
Because I am receiving unemployment.
How much?
$1,608 a month.
Who do you live with?
I have a roommate.
And what's your rent?
$675.
What's the insurance on your car?
$138.
Spend $500 a month on food? Probably.
Probably.
You don't have enough money to make this car payment.
Well, I went starving for 2 years, eating at work only, and I made the payments every...
No, I understand that. You were working, but now you're not working.
Well, I don't work. I had to call my friends in order to be able to go get an interview. It's all freeway access where I live, so I have to have a vehicle in order to get a job.
And she has been going on interviews, Your Honor. I'm sorry to interrupt, but she has been going on interviews. I've given her rides to try to
Why
get jobs.
are you talking to me?
Sorry.
You were supposed to make your payments. You're supposed to make your payments on time. Other than the last payments, I assume you were making your payments just a couple of days late, but then you were 20 days late. What was she supposed to do?
Well, in our bill of sale, it doesn't say anything about repossessing the car. It's all about a late fee. I asked her, if there is a late fee, give me the paperwork so that I know the exact amount so that I can pay it.
I tell you what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you 10 days to get a loan on this truck in your own name.
No one's going to give me a loan because I don't have a job.
That's a problem. That's a problem. But you're sticking her with the fact that you don't have a job. I'll be more than happy to continue this case so that you can go and get it out of her name so she doesn't have to be dependent upon whether or not you have enough money with your unemployment to make a car payment that's in her name and affects her credit. Now, was the 10th of the month the outside date to make the payment, or was that with the grace period?
No, it said on the 10th that I was supposed to deposit.
No, I'm talking about her loan.
The 10th is the date the finance company wants the money in their possession.
Okay. So 20 days that you've made an investment in this, and other than June, you did make payments. But you can get somebody. Are you a friend of hers?
I was there the whole time. But yeah, I'm a friend of both of them.
Co-sign for her for a loan. If you have confidence that she's going to pay the loan, you're her friend. Co-sign for her for a loan. Get a loan in your name. You still have the car?
Yes, I do.
And I'll direct that she return the car to you. It's easy.
I have bad credit. They're not going to give me a loan unless it's ridiculously high.
Just a second. Why would you have bad credit? If you had a job and you paid your bills, why do you have bad credit?
Due to my divorce 5 years ago, being with him caused me to have bad credit.
In the last 5 years, you've been divorced. According to you, you had a job until April. So you've built up your own credit in 5 years.
I didn't have a credit card. I can't have a bank account because my son was in juvenile hall. They take money out of my account. They close the account.
Let me explain something to you. She's not your relative. If you can get a loan in your name, I will direct that she return the car to you. Paid for it for 2 years. You've also had the use of it for 2 years without putting anything down Put your hand down. You paid for it. You drove it. You drove it to work. You did whatever you had on the car. So it's not that you didn't get something of value, but I could understand that after 2 years of an investment, you want these wheels back. You're entitled to them back if you can get it in your name, because she doesn't have to wait 20 days for a car payment from somebody who already can't get a loan in their own name, can't have a credit card in their own name, can't do anything for a variety of reasons. Ex-husband, son in juvenile hall, whatever the reason, she's not responsible for that. So if you have a good friend, is she your friend?
Yes.
Good. Let her co-sign for a loan.
I don't want the truck back now.
Just a second. Why don't you want the truck back?
Because I don't know what she's done to it since she's had it.
She hasn't done anything. Why would she do anything to a truck that she's got to pay for? What do you want?
Well, you know what? It's just I don't want the truck back because I'm not going to be able to get it. I'm not going to be able to get a loan.
Just a second. Then I don't know what you want.
I want to get some of the money back that I paid into it.
No way. You used it.
But the balance is a little over $7,000. I made over $8,000 in payments.
No.
She did this to her ex-boyfriend too. She went to Arizona, took the truck from Arizona.
Listen to me. Don't give me a whole bunch of hearsay. You have the following choices.
No, it's not hearsay.
You have. Yes, it is. You have the following choice. Either you give you time to get a loan in your name and direct her to return the truck to you. Get the loan out of her name. I don't care in whose name is the loan. If you have a friend who says she's been taking you around and very devoted to you, and if she trusts you, do you trust her?
Of course I trust her.
Good. Then she'll take out a loan. You get the truck back. But you're not just going to get money. That's ridiculous. You were late. You were late.
20 days doesn't say anywhere in here that she can repossess it.
Do you want time or not? Do you want time to get the loan in your name? In which case, I'll just continue this case until you come back, and then I will direct her and write an order. You understand?
Yes.
And you have no problem with that. I assume you just want it out of your name.
Yes.
And I will direct that she return it to you. Tell me what you want.
I know I'm not going to get a loan. There's no way anyone's going to give me a loan.
I can't help you. You were late. She had a right to repossess the truck. That's all.
What is that excuse? You may step out.
I paid for 2 years. 2 years I paid for a truck, and now I'm not going to have anything for it.
I was paying it on time and waiting for her to reimburse me.
I explained to her the situation.
I worked with her for 2 years. I understood her situation, but enough is enough.
I asked her to give me a chance to get the money so that I could give her the payment.
I always got it late.
I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get another car.
I just had enough.
Doesn't even matter if I had a cosigner, they wouldn't loan it to me.
I did help consider her my friend.
The truck payment issue is the only thing that ended our friendship.
I'm sorry that she thinks that we're not friends, and I really didn't want our relationship to end this way.
Terrible.
I think it's a business deal gone bad.
This is just ridiculous.
Not selling cars for payment to anybody.
Definitely don't do it because you can't trust anyone.
He had a flyer that said he was going to provide a deluxe party bus, flat screen TVs, tinted windows, optic lighting.
But what she got,
it was in fact a city bus.
Made her hit the brakes.
Did you misrepresent what the plaintiffs were going to get?
She chose the bus.
What about this bus did she select specifically?
She wanted to make sure that they had stripper poles in it.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Tammy and Matthew Kesis are suing limo company owner Aki Kortsidis for the return of his fee. The plaintiffs claim Aki misrepresented a party bus they reserved for their daughter's winter formal.
Order. All rise. Kesis versus Kortsidis.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mrs. Kesis, based upon my reading of these papers, you were the one who was the motivating force between you and your husband in putting together this limousine bus. Is that right?
Yeah, it was actually my daughter who was interested in gathering a group of her friends together for the bus.
And your daughter put together this group of friends to do what?
They were going to attend their winter formal dance.
They wanted to take a big bus with a whole group of people. How many people did they want to take in this bus?
They wanted 40 people.
Who contacted the defendant's company?
I received a flyer in the mail through the school, and I contacted them.
And was it the defendant who you spoke to?
Yes, it was.
On what date was this event to take place?
It was February 5th, 2011.
I'd like you to tell me, on what date did you speak to the defendant?
Originally, I called about 3.5 weeks prior to the event.
Is that correct, sir?
The date, yes.
Don't say yes.
The date was January 11th.
And did you quote her a price?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
$2,400.
Did you agree to that price?
Yes, I did.
Did he furnish transportation for 40 people?
Yes, he did.
Did the kids use the bus to come home?
Yes, they did.
Did you see the bus before it left for the dance?
I saw the bus for the first time at 6 p.m.
Before they left for the dance?
Yes.
And did you pay the defendant?
Yes, we did.
Did you pay him in full?
Yes, I did.
So now you can tell me what you're suing him for.
So I am suing him for misrepresentation of what transportation was going to be provided. He had a flyer that said he was going to provide a deluxe party bus. This was given to me by the school. And on the brochure, it said that there was flat screen TVs, tinted windows, optic lighting, fully stocked refreshments, and that it was a deluxe party bus. And on the flyer, it shows a really nice, beautiful bus. And then I went onto his website and checked his fleet, and I saw that they were really luxurious. And I called him and confirmed that those were the buses that he would be providing for the event.
And
the night of the event, when the bus pulled up, it was, in fact, a converted OCTA bus that was painted black.
What's OCTA?
A city bus with none of the amenities that were described.
May I see? Do you have a picture of the bus?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it. And I'd like to see a picture of the flyer that you received.
And this is also the website.
This bus is listed for $60 per person for a prom. How many buses do you have, sir?
8, ma'am.
Do you have any buses that look like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were they on February 5th?
In Newport Beach.
For what?
Another event.
This bus here doesn't look, sir, like this bus here.
That's correct.
Nor does it look like this bus here.
That is correct.
Would you take a look at that, sir? How many buses that have interiors like that do you have in your fleet of 8 buses?
1.
And how many buses do you have that are converted and painted city buses?
1.
And what are the rest?
The rest are somewhere in between. They don't have the capacity. 3, ma'am.
One is a real nice one, and that was in Newport Beach?
That's correct.
And what about the other one? One you sent for them.
That was also in Newport Beach.
And what kind of bus is that?
It's a tour bus that's been converted into a limo.
Does that look like this?
Not quite like that, no.
But something like this?
Yes.
But it looks nothing like this?
You're showing me an inside photo and you're showing me an outside photo.
Well, you have photographs of the inside? Mm-hmm. I'd like to see them.
I'd love to see them.
That's the party. That's what your bus looks like inside.
That is correct.
It's just a bus.
It's not just a bus. It has limo seating. It has laser lights. None of the lights are on. One photo is professionally staged. The other photo is taken by an amateur with a handheld camera. So you can't compare photographs.
I can. Now, you're entitled to be paid something, sir. The question is, did you misrepresent what the plaintiffs were going to get for their $60 per person? And even though one of the photographs that they took was an amateur photograph, I can see that there is a substantial difference between the interiors of these 2 buses. Can you tell me the name of the event in Newport Beach?
That the other buses went to?
Yes.
Absolutely. One went to a dance at the Sheraton Park Hotel.
And how much did you charge per person for that bus?
Is that relevant to this case?
Very relevant.
$60 per person.
The same as you charged these people.
That is correct.
And what did you charge the other bus?
$60 per person.
So that the people in Newport Beach got nice buses for the $60 per person, and these kids got a secondary kind of bus for their $60 a person. That be a fair statement?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The bus would describe the plaintiff in detail, and she wanted to make sure that they had stripper poles in them. The kids requested stripper poles.
And later today,
he was going to help me out, and then he said, no, I'm not going to help you, so I was stranded in another country.
What other country?
Colombia.
What did you go to Colombia for?
To get liposuction.
Grow up.
Cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tammy and Matthew Keesis say limo company owner Aki Kurtsidis owes for the return of his fee. The plaintiffs claim Aki misrepresented a party bus they reserved for their daughter's winter formal.
Okay, so what you're telling me is the interior of all the buses is the same.
What I'm telling you is that the buses all serve different purposes.
No, what I'm telling you is very simple equation. You have 3 buses, 2 nice ones, and one that'll get the job done will actually serve as transport. You don't offer a discount for just the transport. You charge the same as the 2 good buses that you sent to Newport. You charge the same per person, and you sent them one of lesser quality. Now, usually in the trade, people say, you know, you let the buyer beware. If she wanted to see exactly what bus you were going to send, she could have gone before and taken a look at it, but she relied on your promotion. She relied on what you posted on the internet. What you posted on the internet, not exactly the same thing. Got the job done. But she's saying she felt as if she had no choice, I assume. The kids were there already. She had to pay you. Buses to Newport and to send these folks, these kids, this bus.
She chose the best. At the time that she reserved the vehicles, every one of those 3 buses was open and available. The bus would describe the plaintiff in detail, and she selected that vehicle.
Well, tell me, what about this bus that she selected specifically?
Well, she wanted to make sure that they had stripper poles in them. The kids requested stripper poles.
These things. Did she ask for televisions?
No, she did not.
Are there any televisions in this bus?
No, ma'am.
Are there refreshments in this bus?
Yes, there are.
Were there refreshments in the bus?
Yes.
Was there music in the bus?
Yes, and on the way back, it broke. On the way home, the music got staticky, and it wasn't really working, and the bus driver didn't know how to fix it. So we put up with partial music on the way home.
Did you have music going to your event?
Yes.
How far is it from the prom to home?
An hour.
And how much into the ride home was there a problem with the sound system?
At the very start.
Did you tell the bus driver that there was something wrong with the music?
He wasn't able to do anything about it. He was just there to drive.
What else?
With a few waters and sodas. They said there were going to be 3 coolers, and there was not enough for everyone. And inside was literally a city bus.
Oh, that's what it looks like. It looks like a city bus. Okay. Thank you. You can be seated. How much after the event did you complain to the defendant?
At the time the bus arrived, I asked the bus driver if he could get me the correct bus that we ordered. I said this was not the bus that we expected. And he said there was nothing we could do. There was no other buses available.
Right, they were all in Newport.
So the following morning, my husband called and shared that we were very upset and disappointed that we did not get what we paid for.
Okay. You understand that you're suing him for not only the full refund for the children, but money in addition to that. That's not going to happen. You did, in fact, use the bus. You used the bus to get to your prom, used the bus to get home. That has a value to it. I'm looking at the picture of the kids, and actually, despite the fact that it wasn't exactly what they bargained for, wasn't exactly what you contracted for, the kids look as if they were having a really good time. But I think that the defendant has to know that misleading advertising, marginally deceptive when you're dealing with the public, sometimes we rely on the pictures that we see on the website. We rely on pictures that you see in flyers, because you did send this to the school.
No, absolutely not. A flyer was done by a third party.
At whose request?
It was done at the school. That company.
You mean you're telling me that the school is pushing your limousine service?
The school works with someone that has an event center. That is the truth, man.
You're going to return $600 to them, judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $600. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I told the lady, do you know the LAX airport Hertz shuttle buses? That's what it is.
It was literally a city bus.
When people come see our buses, it is the most requested bus.
It's not what we expected.
The prom function, it's all about the bling and the special, and this bus was a city bus. It wasn't the bus with all the bells and whistles.
When they arrived to the event, all the buses there were beautiful, luxurious buses, and theirs was the city bus.
I had no idea they were unhappy.
I think there are Laguna people that just want free ride.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Valenzuela versus Muniz. Step forward.
Belkis Valenzuela is suing her for she let her when she was stranded in a Colombian plastic surgery center.
Miss Valenzuela, what kind of work do you do?
I'm in nursing. I'm a nurse.
Where?
Stony Brook State Veterans Home.
And how long have you worked there?
About 8 years.
And you belong to the same church that the defendant belonged to? Is that how you knew her?
Yes.
How long had you known her from church?
I'd say about 2 years.
Is that right?
Yes.
You claim that the defendant called you in a state of panic and asked you for a loan. It was a loan for cosmetic surgery, specifically liposuction, that she was having in a foreign country. You sent her the money. The defendant denies responsibility for you paying you that money. She says it was a gift.
Correct. It wasn't no gift.
Now, what do you do for a living?
I'm a real estate agent.
You sold anything in the last year?
Nope.
So you had no money?
No money.
So what did you go for cosmetic surgery for?
Because I was going through hard times with my husband. We got separated, so I went over there just to feel good about myself. So he was going to help me out, and then at the end, he said, no, I'm not going to help you. So I was stranded in another country, and I was calling everyone from church.
What other country?
Colombia.
What did you go to Colombia for?
To get liposuction.
Why Colombia?
I have family in Colombia, so I decided to go stay over there just to get away, because I was going through hard times. I had just had a baby, and I was just going through a lot. And then she decided, let me help her out.
Getting liposuction, you called her?
I called her to let her know that I was having problems, and then she decided, I can help you out if that would help.
Grow up. You have children?
I have 5.
Well, you have enough children. You have enough children if you don't have money for liposuction, for cosmetic surgery that you want to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, well, that's what I did.
Well, that's great. Then you have to pay her back.
I'm not going to pay her. She gave it to me.
No, you're going to pay
She sent it to me.
No, listen to me. You have a mother?
Yes.
You have a father?
Yes.
You have siblings in Colombia?
No.
Just a mother and father. Where are your siblings?
In New York.
How many?
3.
You got lots of people related to you by blood. Who are you?
I'm her fiance.
And you got a fiance. You have children?
No.
No. Oh, so she's going to have a lot more than 5 children. Go visit a therapist. How much money did you send it to Colombia?
Well, when she called me, she had asked me if I could loan her $5,000. I just had, like a couple of weeks ago, I had a car accident, and I had received some money from that accident. So I said, I'm able to lend you $3,000. But I said to her, I need you to pay me right back.
Could I see the proof that you sent her the money, please?
And also this. This is the bank statement.
Children live with?
With me.
Who's Beatrice?
Beatrice is the nurse that she told me to send the money to under that name because she couldn't leave the clinic at the time. So that person got the money and, took it to the clinic.
She sent her the money. She didn't send it to me directly. She sent it to Beatrice. And she told me she was going to do me the favor of helping me out.
Don't give me the whole story. I just asked you who Beatrice was.
The nurse at the clinic.
What's the name of the clinic?
What? Centro Plástico.
I have a brochure right here.
I'd like to see it. Where'd you get the brochure?
Well, it's kind of weird the way I got it because the doctor came over to a friend's house and I found out about it and she went to see him so the doctor could check her out, see if she was okay. And I went in there also. I said I wanted him to check me out and see if I needed liposuction. And he gave me that brochure with the, the clinic and the phone number and everything.
She did this out of goodness of her heart. That's what she told me. She was going to help me out and that she was going to just help me get back to New York because...
There are a couple of kind of surgeries that maybe somebody could recommend for you. Liposuction isn't one of them.
I told her...
Shh. You want to have elective surgery, pay for it yourself. Get your mother, your father, your 3 brothers and sisters. Get your boyfriend who needs his head examined. Get him to pay for it, not her. She paid you back some of the money, is that right?
Yes.
She paid you $500.
She paid it to me in November 13th, 2009.
Did she pay you by check or cash?
No, she gave me cash. She sent me a text stating that she had that money and that to come to her house and pick it up. So I went to the next day. I went to her house to pick it up, and she gave it to me in cash.
What did you give her the $500 for?
Because she was harassing me. She was driving me crazy. I didn't give her the money. My fiancé gave it to me to give to her because he was just fed up with her. She was driving me crazy, harassing me at work, calling me everywhere.
How old are you?
25.
How old is she?
35.
Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I just wanted to make clear that I did not give her the money.
I was calling everyone for church, and she was the only one who said, you know what, let me help you out, because I know you're stranded in Colombia, so let me see what I can do for you, and she sent me the money.
I really do like Marjorie. She's a powerful, she still is a powerful woman of God, but things do happen.
I'm not going to that church anymore because, everybody thinks I'm a bad person now, and all I tried to do was do something for myself because I was going through a lot of hard times.
I just pray to God that she can see and do, right by people and not try to steal.
She was just driving me so crazy that I said, you know what, take me to court if you want, but I'm not going to pay you because, you gave it to me.
She shouldn't have harassed, there was kids involved and she should have went this way from
the money because I really need the money.
Glad it's over with. Thank God.
I forgive her for what she did and I wish her the best. I really do.
Have 4 children. You're 26 years old. You have enough children. You have enough children forever.
Too many babies and not enough bucks.
How much did you earn last year?
$5,068.
You think that's enough to support yourself and 4 children?
No, ma'am.
So what did you have them for? The thought of supporting never entered your mind?
Judge Judy.
Who are you?
His grandfather.
You should take him behind the woodshed and have a discussion with him.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Timothy Blair is suing his ex-fiancée and mother of his 4 children, 21-year-old Kristen Broadhead, for the return of an SUV, household appliances, and tools.
Order. All rise. Yes, case number 517 on the calendar, the matter of Blair versus Broadhead. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
How old are you, Mr. Blair?
I'll be 22 in a few days.
Miss Broadhead, you have 4 children?
Yes, that's correct.
How old are they?
I have 3.5-year-old twins, and then a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Who do you live with?
Myself and my uncle and my grandmother.
Who supports your children?
I do.
Doing what?
Just whatever I can with my welfare, and I take care of my grandma.
Well, if you get welfare, then you don't support your children. I support your children.
I work through HSS and take care of my grandmother, too.
You get welfare?
Yes, I do that as well.
What?
Your Honor, I found out she just recently lost her job. She was laid off.
You have 4 children. You're 26 years old. You have enough children.
Yes, ma'am.
You have enough children forever.
Yes, I do.
Who are you?
His grandfather.
You should take him behind the woodshed and have a discussion with him. How many children do you have?
2. One's deceased.
You had 2 children, I assume, because you figured you could support 2.
I have.
He's 26. He has 4. And what do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a mechanic. I'm also a professional car audio installer.
It's coming up to April. Do you have your tax returns ready?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you earn last year?
Approximately $5,068.
You think that's enough to support yourself and 4 children?
No, ma'am.
So what did you have them for?
I wanted to have them early so I could have energy. I didn't want to grow to be able to play around with them and stuff like that. I wanted to be able to be there for them.
How thoughtful of you. The thought of supporting them never entered your mind? You wanted to be able to play with them, but, you know, providing food and clothing and education and that never entered your mind? $5,068? How much did you earn last year?
The year before that was $88.99.
$88.99?
No, $8,000.
$8,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Bird and I spend that much on the medical care for your 4 children. Okay, now, this is some ridiculousness about a car that belongs to you, is in your name, you have the title for, and she has, because you're no longer together. And her answer says she needs the car.
I do.
Oh, you can't have it. It's not yours. It's his.
When we purchased the truck, we were both paying on it. I use that truck every day to get my kids around. I'm working a job right now. I'm trying to support 4 kids. I was young when I met him.
It's his truck.
And I made a lot of mistakes, but right now I'm trying to correct this. I'm trying to do what's right.
Terrific. It's his truck.
Okay, well, he took my name off the registration so he could put his
name.
Oh,
just a sec. Is her name on the registration?
Yes, it was, Your Honor. Previously it was.
Well, how did you get her name off the registration?
I went and I got a hold of the time. We paid him in 2 payments. I did. He went with me to cash my check. I gave him the money on 2 different occasions. I was unable to get him to write a letter for me stating...
I don't take letters anyway, sir. How did you get her name off the registration unless you forged it?
I went into DMV.
And you forged her name?
No, ma'am.
Well, how did you get her name off the registration?
I got a hold of the lien holder, which he had the title. He wanted my name on the back of it. He signed my name. He put my name on the back of it, and he signed his name off the title. I went over there and I picked it up, and I went down to DMV and I got it fully registered.
We can't do that. She's a registered owner.
We were on the title as or, Your Honor. I was told by DMV that I had full thing to take. Either one of us could do it.
Do you have that? Could I see it, please? I'd like to see it.
I don't have that today.
I don't know how you did. How much did you pay for this truck?
We only paid $1,000 for the truck.
You paid $1,000 for the truck? When did you pay $1,000 for the truck?
Approximately 2007. We paid $1,300, Your Honor.
Now, when you left the truck in Miss Broadhead's possession?
No, she stole it from me. She kept it.
She kept it from me. And you are a mechanic now, is that right?
I've been.
Work on cars?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you do that out of your home or someplace else?
I was assistant manager, and...
Do you do that to get there?
Formerly,
How do you get there?
By the truck.
You don't have the truck now. How do you get there?
I'm not currently working there.
How do you get there to work?
The bus or walk.
And who do you live with?
I'm staying with my mother right now.
Does your mother have a car?
Yes, she does, Your Honor.
What does she do for a living?
She's very ill. She's been through 23 major abdominal surgeries. So
and what you're telling me, she doesn't work?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you take her car to work occasionally?
No.
You just let it sit there?
I'm not allowed to.
You're not allowed to what?
She's very funny about her car.
I don't believe you.
It's entirely true.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that you don't use your mother's car. With all of her abdominal surgery, somebody has to go get groceries for the family. Who does that? Who does that?
Her caregiver?
No. So what you're telling me, you don't occasionally go shopping for the family?
I do. I had to get general assistance because she took all my money.
You get what kind of general assistance?
From the county.
You get welfare. For whom?
For myself.
How much?
About $195 in cash aid, and it just recently stopped.
What about food stamps?
I meant food stamps. I'm sorry.
You get food stamps?
Correction, $195 in food stamps.
That would be you?
Right.
You get there by bus?
I get rides. I call for a ride.
I don't believe you. Don't believe you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When I got the truck back, my brake hardware was missing off of my brakes. He had taken the hardware off my brakes, so I had my neighbor look at it and I had to have it fixed. Which killed me, I guess.
And later today...
You called him to post your bail?
No, ma'am, I did not.
How did he know that you were arrested?
The jail must have called him.
You mean they just did a Karnak? I wonder what the phone number is.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Timothy Blair says ex-fiancée Kristen Broadhead owes for the return of an SUV, household appliances, and tools. Kristen is countersuing, claiming Timothy made false reports to CPS.
Now, how much in welfare grants do you get for the children?
I get $300 in cash and $5.95 in food stamps.
And who else lives in your house?
My grandmother and my uncle.
And your grandmother is disabled?
Yes, she is. It's the IHSS, caregiving.
Are you a caregiver for her license?
Yes.
You get money for being her caregiver?
Yes.
How much money do you...
$1,200. I haven't started getting any checks yet.
So you applied to be your ill grandmother's caregiver?
Yes.
And who had been her caregiver before?
I have previously, and my parents have previously.
And what?
Charles for 13, 14 years.
Him. Yeah, that's Charles too.
Who's Charles?
Charles is like an uncle to her. He's grown up around her.
He's my babysitter. He watches my children for me when I'm not there.
May I also say something else, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you very much. When she forced me out of the house, she brought Charles over to the house, and her grandmother was they were both living at her parents' house. Now, when Charles came over, they were claiming hours that Charles wasn't even doing at all.
Listen to me very carefully. Everybody's very good here at two things: making babies and getting money from the government.
I actually want to support my kids. I want to be there for them.
But first you have to make money, sir. Then you have children. You don't do it in reverse. You don't have the children and then scratch your head and say, how am I going to take care of them? Because the two of you seem very well equipped to get money, have babies, and not work.
I've worked a lot. I'm trying.
No, dear. You work a lot at having 4 children.
Yes, I did. I was really young and immature at the time. That's why I'm trying to make it.
Well, I'm really young, like a year ago.
Yes, I did.
Now, you can't take care of yourself. I mean, I don't know whether she's an appropriate mother or not. I have absolutely no idea. But she was appropriate enough for you to make 4 children with, and if she was a mistake to make 1 child with her, it was certainly a bigger mistake to make 3 more. In any event, I have nothing to do with your car, sir. You want your car back? Go get a marshal and get the car back. She has a restraining order against you? That's
Yes,
what I said? Well, I can't do anything about that. Marshal can. Marshal can go pick up the car if it's titled in your name. That's it. That's what you want to do, go do it. There's nothing I can do to order her to give it back to you. The title is in your name. What?
May I please explain something?
No. Is there anything that I said that was incorrect? The title is in your name. The registration is in your name. She has physical possession. Get a marshal and get it.
They told me that I have to have a court order to be able to do that because it's on the restraining order under her car.
The judge already ruled that the restraining order covers the car? So what do you want from me? You don't get 2 bites of the apple. You went before a judge?
No.
You chose not to go? She has a temporary order or a final order?
She has a 3-year restraining order.
If she has a 3-year restraining order, you either defaulted and did not go to court, or there was a trial and the judge granted the restraining order? Which was it?
I did go to court.
You did go to court and you had a trial. You had nothing else to do. That was your job, to get to court. The court granted her a restraining order, and if the restraining order covered the car, then you have to go back to court and say to the judge, I was late. I'm moving to open up this default judgment against me. Please just strike out the car on the restraining order because the car belongs to me. I can't overrule another judge's decision. You got it? Now you have a counterclaim for some nonsense. Go.
I had to get the police to go get the truck for me, and I went over to his house and got the truck back. When I got the truck back, my brake hardware was missing off of my brakes. He had taken the hardware off my brakes. I don't know why he would do that, but it was missing. I had to have it fixed because it was driving really funny. So I had my neighbor look at it, and I had to have it fixed. He tried killing me, I guess. I don't know what he was thinking or why he would do something like that.
I have no idea, and I have no idea whether he did it, and I have no idea that it was done. All of that is hearsay. What's next?
And he opened up 3 CPS cases against me, all which were closed out, and he keeps calling the police. He's harassing me. He stalks me. He drives his mom's car over to my house at night, like 3 in the morning, and sits in front of my house. When I call the police...
Call the police?
I do.
Call the police. They will arrest him for violation of the protective order, and then he'll go to jail.
For my stuff that he stole from my house.
He didn't steal anything from your house.
He stole my camera, my GPS.
Yeah, he didn't steal anything from your house. You all live together like a happy family with your 4 children, without benefit of getting married, have no sources of income. I don't know, with what you bought this property that you claim he stole out of your house when you threw him out of the house.
I bought it when I worked.
All right, very good. Listen, why don't you concentrate on growing up? Go visit Planned Parenthood and concentrate on growing up. You, sir, you have a job to do. You can go back to court. Ask the judge to forgive you for not showing up on time. Get the portion of the order lifted that says that it covers the car, and go and get the car. I cannot overrule another judge's decision.
May I please say something, Your Honor?
What?
She's keeping my stuff from me. She won't give it back. She's keeping my kids from me.
Go.
She lied.
Get a job and get to court. And come on time when you're told to come to court. Where were you that you didn't get to court on time?
I didn't have a ride, and I tried every which way to find one. I went through everything. I had no money to my name. She stole all my money.
Couldn't have stolen that much money, sir. You only made $5,000 last year.
I have had a very hard time getting a job, Your Honor.
I want to tell you something. Then you should have concentrated on getting a job and not making 4 children.
I've always made sure they're well taken care of.
They can't be well taken care of, sir, on $5,000 a year, sir. You filled out paperwork, and that's not taking care of your children. You do understand that, sir, don't you?
Oh, yes.
That's all.
You bet.
That's good.
Yeah.
Goodbye, folks.
Always got excuse, you may step out.
I just hope she would realize what she's doing
I'm trying to support my 4 kids.
and stop focusing on being mad at me.
And this man has stolen so much property and stuff from me. It's ridiculous.
I wish she would just be different.
He's not trying to be a dad, a father, nothing.
I wish she would be a mother to our kids.
He's trying to get away with not supporting any kids.
But you know what? I'll be back.
I hope that he does what he's supposed to so he can see his kids.
I'm a fighter, and I'll fight for my kids till I die.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Sokolov versus Fox. Step forward.
Philip Sokolov is suing his ex-girlfriend, Melanie Fox, for bail money he posted after she was arrested for theft and for the return of a vehicle she repossessed.
Mr. Sokolov, the defendant was your former girlfriend. You claim she owes you for actually 3 things. First, some bail that you posted for her when she was arrested. When were you arrested and what for?
August of 2009 for theft of property.
You called him to post your bail?
No, ma'am, I did not.
How did he know that you were arrested?
The jail must have called him.
You mean they just did a Karnak? I wonder what the phone number is?
No, they asked me for a phone number if they tried to get a hold of
what?
For posting bail.
And you gave them his telephone number?
Yes, ma'am.
And when they reached him by phone, did they give you the phone?
No, ma'am.
Were you called by the defendant or by somebody at the police department?
The police department.
And you went and bailed her out?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what happened?
Called a bail's company.
You bailed her out?
Yes,
right.
Yes, Your Honor. And I bailed her out, and she told me she'd pay me back.
When did she tell you she'd pay you back?
As soon as I bailed her out.
And did you continue to date after August of 2009?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you living together?
No, ma'am.
Did she ever pay you back?
No, ma'am.
Okay, how much was the bail?
$165.
Now, what about the attorney's fees, Mr. Sokolov?
She wanted to keep it off her record, just in case she found another job, and we found an attorney to do it for $950, which...
What do you mean, we found an attorney?
Well, she found an attorney.
How did you find an attorney?
I was receiving information in the mail from different attorneys, and I just called one. And this was the attorney that I called. They told me $950 would be how much it would be in order to do my case.
So how much money did you take from Mr. Sokolov?
He paid the bail, plus he paid 2 attorney fees.
How much?
$165 plus another $650.
Did you tell him you'd pay him back?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you pay him back?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Because he told me that we were in a relationship and I did not need to pay him back numerous times.
Good. And you're going to get back the $650. That's $815. Now you're going to tell me, sir, about the car, because the car is a different story.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Me and Miss Fox, we purchased a car together.
Even though you weren't living together, you purchased a car together.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because my credit was not the greatest, and...
Her credit was better than yours?
I don't know, ma'am.
Must have been.
Must have been, yes, ma'am.
Who was primary on the loan?
She signed on top, I signed on the bottom.
So she's primary?
Yes, ma'am.
Is she still primary on the loan?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you purchase the car?
October 15, 2009. I put a $1,000 down payment on a vehicle, and I've made the payments on time since then.
Fine. You took the car back, Miss Fox?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the car titled in both your names?
Yes, it is, but the registration is out. Miss Fox filed a title transfer online.
Miss Fox, you have the car?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Good. Mr. Sokolov, you have 3 weeks to get the loan out of her name. Because what you want her to give you back all the money you put into the car, all the payments, everything else. That's not happening.
Or the car.
That's not happening unless you can get the loan out of her name. It seems to me now that you've been making these car payments regularly, you should be able to get the loan out of her name. And I will sign an order for you to retrieve your name. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you say that you repossessed the car because Mr. Sokolov was late in a payment.
He was late on multiple payments.
So you repossessed the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, You would agree that since he's made the payments on the car and he put down the down payment on the car, that if he can get the loan out of your name, he should get the car back. You would agree with that?
If he can get it in his name, yes, ma'am.
Great.
However, he has not made all the payments on it. I have made payments on it also.
What I'm telling you is, if he can get the car in his name,
he can have it, yes, ma'am.
He's going to have it. Not as he is. He's going to have it. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. You have 3 weeks to do it. If you can do that within the next 3 weeks, the car is yours. You have $815 that she owes you for when she got into trouble and you helped her out. It's her trouble. You weren't involved with it. She's got to take care of it. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. That's all. Thank you.
Excuse me, step out.
She's a very vindictive person.
No, he's the one being vindictive.
She likes to use people.
And he's the one that was using me.
Just for my wife and I getting back together.
He told me he filed for divorce.
She's probably upset about that still. I'm sure she is.
Which he did, but it never went through, and he's still married.
Just pick your friends wisely, I guess.
He calls you all kinds of names. He calls you psycho.
Reward for bad behavior?
You loaned him $2,000.
He just kept begging, and I finally agreed I would.
When did you give him a credit card?
About a week later, I opened a credit card.
Then the final insult.
I bought an airline ticket for him to come home around Thanksgiving before we split up.
Well, because she wanted me home so bad.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Melissa Cavellis is suing her ex-boyfriend, Edward Rich, for truck repairs and various credit card charges.
Order. All rise. Yeah, that's case number 492 on the calendar in the matter of Cavellis versus Rich.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, ma'am.
Ms. Cavellis, you met the defendant in May of 2010, according to your complaint.
Yes.
In June of 2010, according to your complaint, you loaned him $2,000.
Yes.
Then he needed a credit card for some stuff. You claimed that you gave him a credit card, and he racked up a whole big bill on the credit card, and you want that money back. Mr. Rich says that there was interested in him, and that's why there was an exchange of cash. As far as the credit card was concerned, he said he never had physical possession of the credit card. You did, and while the purchases that were made on it may have been for him, that was at your discretion and a gift. Okay. I need a timeline from you, Miss Cavellis. You met him in May where?
Where did we meet? At a club.
May what?
It was around Labor Day. No, not Labor Day, Memorial Day, sorry.
And on what date do you allege you gave him $2,000?
It was June 30th.
So 4 weeks later?
Yes, I have a check, too.
You weren't living together at that point?
No.
So tell me how it came about that you gave him $2,000.
Well, prior to me meeting him, he was involved in a drunk driving accident, and he smashed his truck up into some type of a dumpster at his condo complex. And he had a job at the time, so he decided he wanted to go get the work done to the vehicle. So when he got the work done to the vehicle, he lost his job within a week. So he went down, he paid them $600. They made an agreement that he would take the truck for the $600, and then he would make weekly payments to them until that invoice was paid off in full. It was never paid off. Sooner or later they called, they wanted the truck, they were going to take the truck back. So he called, he said it was detrimental that they don't take that vehicle from him. He needs it to go to and fro to different interviews, or if he gets a job for work. He just kept begging, and I finally agreed I would. I would loan him that money, and he was to pay that back to me.
Okay. He was to pay that back when he got a job.
Exactly. That was what he was constantly saying, when I get a job.
No, that's what you say the agreement was, that he would pay it back when he got a job.
Right.
When did you give him a credit card?
About a week later, I opened a credit card.
And he hadn't gotten a job.
Right.
So now we're into July. Did he get a job in July?
He did, and then he was let go from that job.
How long did he have that job?
Probably a week, 2 tops.
So he really didn't have a job in July. What about August?
Probably a job here and there, but he never kept a job, no.
Okay, so he had no job in August. What about September?
No.
October?
October, at the end of October, he went to Florida to work for my brother.
Okay, so you got him a job. You got him a job. What month did you go to Florida to work for her brother?
Oh, man. I don't remember.
What month?
It was late October, early November. It was Thanksgiving time.
So October. Now, at that time, you still maintained your own apartment. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ms. Cavellas, did Mr. Rich have physical possession at any time of this credit card?
Yes, he did.
From when to when?
He had it from July up until back.
I never possessed that credit card.
I actually have 2 credit cards from myself, and the one he had, I can't be in 2 different locations at the same time using 2 credit cards.
I'd like to see it.
That was his. This is mine.
Who goes to Boston Billiard?
Who goes there?
Yeah.
Everybody does. It's a pool hall.
Well, I don't have everybody here. You or her?
I believe we both did.
So is what you're saying that you both went to Boston Billiard? Is that what
Yes.
you're telling me
Yes,
together?
ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Romeo and Juliet in Lowell, Mass. What is that?
That would be his. He likes kashinas. He insists on getting them 24/7 if he could.
What are they?
It's a Brazilian
Your Honor, it's a
pastry.
Brazilian pastry that we enjoyed. After we go out partying for the night, we would go get some kashinas and go back to the house and enjoy them.
Okay. The Baez Barber Shop?
Yes.
Would that be you?
Yep.
Okay, she doesn't get her hair done at the barber shop. So this would be just yours.
Yes.
Does she go with you to the barber shop?
I believe she did once.
That is such a lie. Sorry. Okay.
Just trying to figure out
I
who
know,
he is.
I know. Sorry.
You know, let me do my job. What is this market basket?
That's a grocery store.
Is that near where you are, sir?
Yes.
The
This
market
market basket's all throughout New England.
And did you use this credit card, sir, at the market basket near where your home is?
We used that credit
I'm
card at
just-
Market Basket plenty of times, yes.
No, I'm just asking you.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Because she has her own credit card here from Market Basket.
She's got tons of credit cards.
No, this is the same one. This is the same one that's yours. So let me ask you this question. Not that I think necessarily, sir, that you're responsible for this, because if somebody is foolish enough to give a perfect stranger who's known for 4 weeks $2,000 and then a credit card, I'm getting to a point in my career where I'm ready to say you get what you deserve. You understand? I'm just trying to figure out who you are. I mean, because, quite frankly, I'm looking at you, and there is nothing, at least to my initial vision, that would suggest to me that anyone would want to give you a credit card or cash.
Mm-hmm.
So that you must have something secret that I don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he got a job with your brother, according to you, in October.
Right. My brother had the contract terms with him in October.
And when did he
There was no
cease
contract.
working for your... Shh. When did he... When did he cease working for your brother?
Edward and I split up around Thanksgiving.
In November?
Yes. So I don't know when he came back. I'm assuming December.
And according to you, the two of you broke up because you said he was cheating on you in Florida, so you broke up with him.
In my brother's home, yes.
While he was in Florida, did he send you any money?
No. In fact, I bought an airline ticket for him to come home around Thanksgiving before we split up.
Why?
Because she wanted me home so bad.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm back to you get what you deserve. Somebody called me these names. They would be going to visit themselves in a cemetery, not coming to my house for Thanksgiving.
And later today,
Anything else?
My parents' bicycle, which
Forget the parents' bicycle. What's next?
He's just making up this whole
Listen
list.
to me.
No.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Melissa Cavellas says ex-boyfriend Edward Rich is a scammer. She is suing for a loan for truck repairs and for credit card charges he's never paid.
Why is my question to you.
Well, at the time, I wanted to be with him
Why
around
didn't
home.
he buy- That's not a reason why you can't buy a ticket, madam. You can buy a ticket without a credit card. I mean, why are you looking at me? I still believe that people can take out cash from their wallet and go into an airline terminal and buy a ticket and say, I'm giving you cash. They won't take cash. It's U.S. currency. You know, it may be devalued, but they still accept it, as well as they accept a plastic Visa, because you pay for that in cash.
Mm-hmm.
So you wanted him back. And how much did this airline ticket cost you?
It was $90.
He had $90 if he had been working since October.
Mm-hmm.
You had an expensive lesson with him.
Yes, I did. I also have text messages that state that he owes me this money.
That was just
From
so
when?
she would stop nagging me, hounding me,
From
harassing
when?
me, calling my family.
From what date?
Right around the time. I have a few of them, actually.
Give me the date.
These are Facebook emails, back and forth, and they were in October.
Great. I'd like to see it.
And they're bantering.
Just a second. Just a minute. This is in October. Why would you send him an airline ticket for Thanksgiving after this?
I can't even answer, honestly.
Well, I can't answer either. He calls you all kinds of names. He calls you psycho. He calls you, you're the most gullible chick I've ever met. Literally. I can't believe you must have said something to his mother because his mother screamed at him. And after this, after all these
my mother
things,
screamed at me
and
to
he
get away from her.
Hey, I'm speaking. Believe me, I'm not gullible. Oh, and this is a nice one, dated October 27th. Called her some nasty names, and then you sent him a Thanksgiving ticket. I'm back to you get what you deserve. Actually, somebody called me these names. They would be going to visit themselves in a cemetery, not coming to my house for Thanksgiving. And he talks about a restraining order. You threatened to get a restraining order against him, right? Mm-hmm. That was on October 28th. And what date did you send for him? November what?
I didn't. He didn't come back, but it was around Thanksgiving time, yes.
Mm-hmm. Say goodbye to him, Miss Cavalas. Do you work?
Yes.
You have a good job?
It's decent.
Upwardly mobile, take care of yourself, get enough money to put it. He will always be a loser.
Oh, I know. I found that out the hard way.
No, listen. I'm telling you, I'm a pretty good judge of people.
But see,
He will always be a loser. Unfortunately, it was a pricey lesson for you. It's just a pricey lesson, but it was a lesson. You don't give somebody money after you know them for 4 weeks. And then when they don't pay you back and don't have a job, you give them a credit card in his possession. Who cares what he says? You say it was in his possession. And that you gave him 2 weeks after you gave him $2,000. And then after he called you all kinds of vile, vicious names you sent for him for Thanksgiving. Miss Cavalas, it's over. You'll always be a nice, smart lady, and he will always be a bum. Got it? Mm-hmm. Your case is dismissed, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Everything was good. It was, the honeymoon phase.
Right, it was. And then it just started to deteriorate.
When she drinks too much.
Oh, my God. He is an alcoholic.
She becomes abusive.
No job.
Violent.
And a pothead.
She's very controlling.
I will never do this ever again.
Money don't buy you love. I'm sorry.
I'm just eyes wide open.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bork Jr. versus Cosmos. Step forward, please.
Joseph Bork Jr. is suing his ex-girlfriend, 24-year-old Jessica Cosmos, for stolen belongings, damage to his car, and unpaid toll fees.
Mr. Bork, the defendant was a friend and or girlfriend of yours, and you claim a laundry list of things that amount to about $5,000 of money that you say she owes to you.
Correct.
Ms. Cosmos says she owes you absolutely nothing. So I did look at you can prove and some you can't, but I'll let you start telling me the story.
Okay, great.
Go.
All right, well, I met Jessica back in June of 2010. During that time,
Where did you meet her?
I met her at a bar. She was a waitress there.
Go ahead.
And during that time, we started getting along. I got her phone number and we started hanging out. And eventually she ended up leaving her house in San Francisco and needed to move back to her parents' house because she couldn't afford rent. While she was at her parents' house, I got a phone call from her 3 weeks later stating that she was getting job interviews in Oakland and San Francisco, where she was originally from. I agreed to pick her up, and during that time, we stayed at my roommate's house, and they did not like Jessica, and they wanted us to leave immediately.
Did you both leave?
We both left.
And where did you go?
We went to my parents' house, and we stayed there for a week.
So far, I don't hear any money.
And so during that time, she stayed at my parents' house. She was in my room, and there was items that were taken and stolen, misplaced. I have a list, actually, a pawn receipt that state that she was pawning items as well, because she must have been hard up for cash or whatever.
Did the pawn receipts indicate what was pawned?
Yes, I can
see it. 14-karat yellow gold rope hollow chain with a clasp missing.
Yeah, that my mother gave me.
That was yours?
That my mother gave me, yeah, when we went to Southern California.
That was yours?
Yes, it was mine.
Okay.
So he's lying.
So what does this have to do with anything?
This has to do with the time of stay that she was over at my place.
What does this have? She pawned her own chain.
I honestly did not know that that was her chain at the time.
Well,
because she was over.
What difference does it make? Okay. Whether it was her chain, whether it was a gift to her, whether it wasn't your chain.
It wasn't my chain, but
was not
my chain.
Fine. Would you give this back to him? Would you get to what you think she owes you, please?
Okay. She owes me money for the stolen items that I inventoried.
Just a second. You haven't told me anything to suggest to me that she stole anything from you or your house.
I have witnesses, Your Honor, my parents, that were there during the time that can state that they have evidence that the bicycle, the car, the watch, the duffel bag.
Shh, just a second.
Yeah.
You saying she stole all these things, a bicycle, a car, and a watch?
She didn't steal the car. She drove the car without permission.
Baloney. Baloney.
This.
Anyway, is the car in your name or your parents' name?
It's under my parents' name. So this is the reason why she had the car during that time.
All right.
Mike.
Mr. Baruch.
Yes.
Bike. You claim she stole a bike.
Yes, she had the bike.
What do you mean she had the bike?
I let her borrow the bike because she had job interviews and she needed a mode of transportation. And I have a listing on Craigslist as well as a photo bucket album showing that she sold the bike and pictures of it if you're willing to see it.
Tell me about the bike.
He gave it to me.
When?
In like December. And then I was going to move from my apartment, so I sold it. He had 3 other bikes. He has 2 vehicles.
All right.
You know,
I want you to tell me exactly what he said when he gave you the bike.
He put it in the car, brought it to my house, gave me the bike.
Brought it to which house?
When I lived in Oakland at the time.
And what did he say when he gave you the bike?
Gave me the lock, the keys, never said once, you have to give me back the bike.
Okay, fine. What about the watch?
Watch is missing because all this
stuff...
Just
a second. Watch missing from where?
My parents' house. She was at my parents' house during the time of October 22nd to the 31st, and I was at my roommate's place.
I don't care.
Okay.
What proof do you have that she took a watch?
I was the only person at that time at my parents' place of stay, and they can testify that she was the only person there in my room and at that place.
Can't help you, Mr. Baroque. Anything else?
Yes. My parents' bicycle, which was
Forget the
taken...
parents' bicycle. What's next?
He's just making up this whole
Listen
list.
to me.
No.
No car, no bike, no watch. What else do you think she owe you money for?
Passport. Passport was missing.
What am I going to do with that?
Listen.
Sorry.
Okay.
Listen to me. Were you smitten with her? You liked her.
I did like her.
You liked her.
She
stayed in your room. You brought her to your parents' home. They were foolish enough to allow you with a girl. Take your hand off your hip.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Only one attitude here. I get paid for it, you don't.
Hey, my idol.
Nobody's laughing. Except you. Parents were foolish enough to let you move in with somebody you hardly knew into their house. They were foolish enough to let you bring a perfect stranger into the house, stay in your room with you. How old are you?
28.
Your mistake. What else do you want from her?
I want compensation.
Not the ones that you just mentioned to be bike, car, and watch. Not happening.
Well,
first of all, you have no insurable interest in the car. It's not your car, it's your parents' car.
Actually, Your Honor, my parents sold me the car because of the damage that was done to it when she was driving.
Show me the bill of sale that your parents sold you the car, where you took the money from to pay for the car. Listen to me.
I do have a fast-track toll, too, that she did drive the vehicle without permission.
Did you understand what I just said?
Yeah.
We are speaking the same language, sir.
Bill of sale.
I said to you, I want to see where you took the money from to pay your parents for the car.
I just gave them cash.
Case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. Let's step out.
Everything that's coming out of his mouth is complete lies.
He definitely took advantage of me.
He's just making this big laundry list of